All right. Did it work? I'm pretty sure I'm live right now. Go ahead and comment if you can hear me. This is my first time hosting one. It says zero viewers. Hey, go ahead and comment if you're in here. Just tell me I got 0 people in the stream right now. I need to like update my computer or something. Hello. All right, I'm about to check on YouTube and see what's going on with it. Still says there's 0 people for me. Let's check it out. Something's going on. Still says 0. Clipboard. I'm trying to work this out. If anyone's watching, I'm trying to figure this out right now because it's telling me that no one's in the stream and I'm not getting any comments or nothing. Three people. What's up? I just joined the broadcast and it said there were 0 people in, so I thought there were technical difficulties, but it says we got 3 people in right now. Let me get my light on. The light's kind of bad in here. I'll be back in literally 10 seconds. Oh. Oh, come on now. You have that many problems? All right, what's up? 4 people in here. Can you send the link in the chat? Yeah. Griffin, one of our other speakers, one of the other members of this new Multispecies Weekly thing is trying to join right now. Let me know if that works. Because it's my first time hosting. Sorry, guys, if I do anything unprofessional. But while we're waiting for him to join in, welcome the 3 people watching Multispecies Weekly. Basically, I'm going to try to do this. We're going to try to do this, the 3 of us, or whichever of the 3 of us is available, every Tuesday around 8 p.m. Eastern, which is going to be 7 p.m. Central, sometime around there, maybe 30 minutes earlier, 30 minutes later, depending on what we're doing. What's up, Sunfish Assassin? What's up, Josiah Danbury Outdoors? And what's up, Fishing with G? I see you all in there. Okay, I think I have to let you in. Add the stream. Are you in?
Yeah, I am. There we go.
Sweet. Do you have any audio issues or anything this time? Because you sound good to me.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Sweet. All right, everyone. Right. You don't know who ForwardFishing is right here? This is Griffin. Go ahead and introduce yourself, everybody. Go ahead and introduce yourself to us.
Yeah. So I've got a YouTube channel, ForwardFishing, and we're just trying to make it keep growing. Right now I'm at like 215 subscribers or something, but I try to post once a week. Sometimes I can post twice a week too, but yeah, so make sure to watch out for content on that channel. And if you just search up my name, it'll probably come up. But yeah. What's up, Buck and Bass?
NKR is trying to join in. Let me discuss what we're doing real quick, NKR, and I might let you join in while we're waiting for Harrison and talk for a minute. What's up, Fishing Man? What's up, Buck and Bass? Everybody go ahead and subscribe to ForwardFishing, my other speaker here. If you're not, his name's Griffin. He's got a pretty sweet channel, and he's working on his channel too, just like I am. What's up, Connie Wilfong? Sorry if I said that wrong. Basically, let me just introduce what we're doing here. It looks like NKR stopped trying to join. Sorry, buddy. We were in the middle of introducing what this thing is. So we're trying to do Multispecies Weekly. So me, Griffin, and Harrison, which is SharpFishingTV, are trying to go weekly every Tuesday around 8 Eastern, 7 Central, somewhere in there, depending on when we're available. We'll let you know in advance. But we just want to have a good time. We want to keep it friendly. Try to do somewhere around a 2-hour chat if everybody's up for it. And basically, it's going to be on my channel this week. It'll be on his channel next time, whatever. We're just going to mix it up. What's up, NKR Fishing and Outdoors? And we're just gonna
What's
talk
up?
some fishing, guys. Basically, any species goes. Today, what our theme is we're gonna be talking locations, basically fishing ponds versus streams versus saltwater, whatever you guys have experienced. And the chat, what's up, NKR? The chat, you guys can go ahead and put any questions, any comments, anything you want to discuss, and we'll try to hit all topics. And before the end of this, I'd like to get some suggestions from you guys about what you want us to talk about next Tuesday. And
Yeah, definitely.
Griffin, if you got any announcements for your channel or anything you want to let people know, you could do that right now. Just let me know if you want to say anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as the weather warms up, is when we're mainly going to be doing a lot of cool videos, especially down in the tidal basin and stuff.
Awesome.
But for now, we're just trying to get through the winter, pretty much. That's why these
same
live
here.
streams are nice.
Yeah, exactly. The only fishing I've been doing is a little bit of trout fishing, but I mean, man,
Yeah.
it's been ice.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, Buck and Bass is trying to join in. NKR asked to join in. I guess since Harrison's not here, I can try letting somebody in. Let's see. Sunfish Assassin says water temps are different at the same time of the year for rivers, creeks, ponds where I live all year long. For sure. Yeah, I don't do a lot of going out and actually checking the water temp, but I will like look it up and stuff on lakes. It's not listed on, like, you look up a creek, it's not going to tell you what the water temp, and that's going to depend on, a lot of factors of the creek. But yeah, most things have been frozen for me here, but it'll be interesting to see what thaws first, because you would think the creeks, but right now the creeks have so much snow on them, it's a whole nother thing. I'm gonna let NKR in for a little bit. He's trying to join. We're gonna let him say what's up just real quick.
Yeah, Harrison said he'll be in 5 minutes.
What's up, Sunfish?
What's up, NKR?
What's
Introduce yourself to everybody. This is our guest speaker right now.
So, my name's Noah from NKR Fish Outdoors. I make pretty good content. Honestly, I hate my content, but other people like it. But anyways, I make fishing videos and outdoor videos and fishing gaming, like any kind of fishing gaming videos. And I'll do reviews on like fishing lures and go fishing in creeks and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep, I like all that stuff, man. Sounds good.
Yeah.
For sure. Everybody's saying hey to NKR. Go check out NKR's channel if you guys haven't. He's a young YouTuber. He's growing just like all of us. So check out his stuff. He's got a second channel. Didn't you just make another one, man?
Yeah, I'm not gonna post on a whole bunch, but it's gonna be like my micro fishing channel. It's called NKR Micro Fishing Adventures.
I think that's cool. There's not enough people out there doing microfishing. I mean, some people just make fun of it, but I mean, I think it's cool to go out there and catch new species. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, my parents are thinking like, why do you want to catch those little tiny bait fish? Why are you going to use those? I'm like, come on, I want to catch new species.
They need love too. I mean, I love big fish as much as the next person.
Yeah.
Buck and Bass is asking to join in. Buck and Bass, if NKR gets off here in a second, we might let you in. It depends on if Harrison joins in.
Yeah, if you want.
Yes. Fishing with G said NKR is always happy and his smile so genuine. Dude, he's got a really good personality for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. It makes me really happy. But yeah, if y'all want me to go, I'll go, because I know Buck and Bass wants to come in.
All right, thanks for joining in, man.
Running your channel.
I may join back in, but you think I'll be able to join back in by 9:30 or so?
We'll see. Yeah, if we're doing a conversation and we have a little slot for you. I don't know how 4 people at once works, but we'll try that.
All right, see you, dude.
Yeah,
Connie Wilfong. I would say one of the hardest things is probably just being able to consistently like catch fish and make good videos. Even when it's like warm out, it can still be tough some days. But yeah, it's probably one of the hardest parts. Yeah,
to add to that, Connie Wilfong, I don't know what temperature it is where you live, but right here, what's up, Magnus? Good to see you, man.
What's up?
So basically right now, because it's about to get really good for fishing, if I were you, I would wait like a month, maybe 2 months to start your channel. Get a bunch of good footage, so you don't put out videos that you think are awesome at first, and then 2 weeks later you're like, wow, I had no idea how to edit. Because I'm about to delete some of my first videos. That's like, I thought they were so cool.
Yeah, same.
It's coldish. Same here. It's cold here too. But it's about to get warmer. Pre-spawn's coming up in March, maybe April for you. Fishing with G's dropping some bait soon, so check that out.
Oh, that's cool.
But basically what I was going to say is just do a couple fishing trips, put some videos together, and the biggest thing is you want a good filming equipment so that it looks good, and you want good sound. You want good editing stuff, but it's cheaper than you think. We can talk specifics here in a minute.
The only filming equipment you really need is your phone, to be honest.
If you have a good phone, my phone sucks for that. Like my GoPro is better than my phone. If you have an iPhone, you're golden. It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, man. But
I have the iPhone, so yeah.
Fishing, man. Hardest thing is getting people to click. Full day grinding, filming, editing process, nothing. Yeah, I'm trying to branch out. So you want to get on Instagram, you want to get on FishBrain, Fish Angler, as many apps as you can. And Connie, the last thing I want to say is watch a bunch of fishing YouTube channels and get a notebook and write down what you didn't like and what you did like. If there's a video that you find yourself wanting to skip in the first 30 seconds, try to find out why. GoPro, perfect. If you got a GoPro, you're good.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, did I miss anything in the Griffin? We miss anything in the chat we need to talk about?
I think we're good. How often do you target carp? I'm not sure who you're asking, but I definitely, one of my main things I like to fish on is carp. So I target that a lot.
What's up, Harrison? Can you hear us?
Up,
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody here in case anyone doesn't know who you are.
What is up, everybody? This is SharpFishingTV. And thank you, Sunfish King and Griffin, for having me. We're doing this Multispecies Weekly thing that we're trying out. And, we're just going to attempt to do this 1 or 2 times a week or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah. And we're going to try to do it sometime around this time, but we can't all commit to like a certain time every week. So I'm just going to say it's going to be around 7 Central, 8 Eastern, sometime around there. But it may change, as the year goes on, but we'll let you know for sure. We're trying to do weekly, whichever one of the 3 of us can join. And Harrison, do you have any channel announcements or news you want to tell anybody about right now?
I think most people know that Boss Bass won the giveaway, so congrats to him.
For sure.
We're sending out that pretty soon to him. There'll hopefully be more upcoming ones in the future, so there'll be more chances.
Yeah, Buck and Bass asked if he could be in soon. All right, the people in the chat are probably wanting us to start getting into the actual, content here. So let's get started talking about this stuff, and then we'll let people in and stuff like that. And I did have one announcement real quick on my end before we get started talking today. And it's just that you guys already know, of course, that I got my Sunfish merch.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point, I'll probably put if anyone's interested, let me know. I'll put my email in the chat for these hats and then the stickers that I've had. But the quick announcement that I had, the exciting news is that I finally got my new stickers that I was waiting on. And they're pretty sweet, guys. So a couple of these, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them real well because they're white and they got white backing on them.
Oh, nice.
Sunfish King Productions. It's a little fisherman on there. But the white backing will come off. Like I'm about to upload a video pretty soon. You guys can see them on my cars and stuff like that. But they're pretty sweet. They look awesome on like a tinted window or something like that because it's dark. But you'll be able to see like the fishermen and stuff way better. So yeah, I'll have these for sale, and I don't know prices for sure. I think I'll do about around $10 with shipping because shipping always gets me. But I'll see if I can do cheaper or whatever. And then the other ones are pretty sweet.
I'm hoping to hopefully sometime make just like a branding sweatshirt that I can wear for now, and then obviously merch come a lot later, but just something like promote my channel like in videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just ordered some hoodies as well. What about you, Griffin? You got any ideas for merch, or you think you should wait?
Yeah, I would say I'd probably want to wait till at least like 500.
That's what I should have done. I got broke buying all this stuff. I've sold a couple though, so okay. Buck and Bass, how do I get one? I want one. I'm trying to put my email in the comments right now, and you can email me, and I will see what I can do. I didn't get them super cheap, but I'll do the best I can for you guys. And then just 2 more stickers I want to show you real quick. This one's gonna be real hard to see, but it says Sunfish King. I know it says Kansas City, Missouri, and there's like a little mountain, and there's really no mountains in Kansas City, but I don't care. I love the mountains, so it is what it is. Yeah. That one's got a lot of stuff going on, but it looks cooler when it's on the vehicle. It's hard to see. And then the last one, I just got a bunch of different colors of these. These are probably my favorite.
I like King.
That. It's got a fish, and it's got the little crown. So I just got them in like literally
I need to make a new
colors, like yellow. I got a USA one, which is pretty freaking crazy. Green, orange, purple, whatever. But
Yeah.
that's enough talking about stickers and crap like that. Go ahead and hit me on my email if you want any of that. I'll probably be doing giveaways at some point for a lot of this stuff.
I want to make like a more creative logo if I'm going to make merch or something like that. Like the one that I have for the channel is simple and nice, and I like that for the channel. But something to put on, merch maybe a little bit different, a little more sophisticated.
Yeah, I put Canva. You probably used it. I just put that in the comments in case anyone else wants to know about it. And then somebody told me one today. Another thing you can. It's like a open source photo editing, and I think you can use that to make logos. Like they were making logos on there. I'll look real quick because I'm on FishBrain right now, and here it is. It's called. What is this? Krista, Krista. So check out Canva and check out Krista for anybody who's interested in trying to make logos and stuff like that. It's cooler than you think, and a lot of times there's templates, so you can get a good start on that. What time do bass and sunfish spawn in Missouri? Says Sunfish Assassin. Okay, so the pre-spawn starts in late March and goes, maybe 30 days, something like that. I don't know exactly how long it goes. It goes throughout most of April, and then towards mid-April, late April, early May, and then definitely into May, June is when different bodies of water you're going to be seeing the spawn. So there's going to be bedding bass and stuff like that. It's hard to tell you when it goes from pre-spawn to spawn. I'm going to search right now to give you a better answer because I wasn't the biggest bass fisherman. I'm going to be honest. Last year, this time, I'm a multi-species fisherman, but I just got into it. So I'm looking at Missouri bass spawn time, and I want to give you like an actual educated answer, so I'm not just saying stuff. In Missouri, spawning occurs from mid-April, like I said, through late May or June. So yeah, pre-spawn is going to be late March through mid-April, or mid-March if you get some warm. Like I've been in a couple ponds that are shallow and they warm up quick, and it seems like they're really trying to eat and stuff, but they could just be coming out of the winter where they weren't eating a lot.
Yeah.
It's about this.
And fucking bass, I would definitely say StreamYard is the best to do live streams.
Yeah, buck and bass. Harrison can tell you guys more about StreamYard versus what's the other one? Streamlabs.
Yeah,
Streamlabs. Yeah.
And why is Streamlabs not as good in your opinion?
I just think because number one, you have to hold your phone vertical in order to see the comments. There's like weird connection issues, at least that I've had with it. I've never had connections issues with StreamYard. I don't know. I just think it's an overall better streaming.
Yeah. That's what we'll be using for sure. And then we got, what is your personal favorite fish to catch? Connie Wilfong asked. We are going to get into the different discussions that I talked about really soon for sure, but we got to answer all these questions. So I'll go first. My personal favorite fish to catch, that's really hard. I caught 30 species last year. Man, Sunfish King's my name. I love the panfish. I'd have to say panfish or trout. And I like brown trout better than rainbow, but I think it's just because they're wild. So I want to say wild trout or like a real big bluegill or shellcracker. We got 9 people in the chat. That's cool. A real big bluegill or a reddy or sunfish that's going to fight really hard. Off the hook outdoors, that's what we fish for muskie. But go ahead. Let's answer this question first.
Okay, yeah. For me, I definitely like just like the bigger the fish. I think it's just like really much cooler. Even though I think microfishing can be pretty cool, but I definitely like carp, because they just like fight so hard, but they like get like huge. And then also the catfish are pretty cool.
Catfish are sweet.
I definitely want to get over a 20-pounder this year. Hopefully that would be nice.
I'm gonna freaking fish with some trophy bluegills or something. I gotta try to catch a monster.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Maybe. Say it again.
What's your favorite, Harrison? Fish to fish for?
Fish for, I think one of the most hard fighting fish, in my opinion, at least in freshwater, is smallmouth bass. I really enjoy fishing for them. That's pretty common. Everybody fishes for bass, but they're fun. And channel catfish put up a surprisingly good fight, I'd say. And carp.
For sure. I like all those. I want to get into more smallmouth. I've caught one. I've never fished for muskie. What about you guys? Off the Hook Outdoors asked.
Never.
Yeah, I've never. I really want to.
All right. And then Connie Wolfon, we'll talk about saltwater fish here in a little bit. Pound for pound, Fishing with G says a smallie. Bucking Bass says largemouth. And Sunfish Assassin said Bartram's bass. I'm going to look up a picture of that because I know I've seen it before. I think it's a black bass subspecies, if I were to be honest. Bartram's bass.
What color is an orange?
Images. Bartram's bass. Yeah, it looks like, oh man, it's crazy. That's definitely a black bass subspecies. So looks like largemouth or spotted with, I don't even know. That's really cool though.
Yeah, I definitely agree that probably besides like carp and other big fish like that, smallies are one of the super fun fish to catch around here, especially like rivers and stuff.
Recovery Bass and TV, what's up?
What's up, man? How are you doing tonight?
You're one of the
Magnus said he wants to take me fishing for trophy bluegill. I'll go anywhere. You're in Iowa, is that right? Or am I wrong, Magnus? I get all my people mixed up. But I will definitely want to do that if I'm ever in the area. All right, guys. The first we're talking. Anyone who just came in, what came first, the color orange or the fruit orange? I don't know. Fishing with G. If the color orange wasn't a thing and the fruit orange was a thing, I think it would probably have a different name. I don't really know how to answer that. Magnus is in Iowa. Okay. So basically, guys, it's Multispecies Weekly. If you're just joining in, we're here to have a good time, keep it friendly, talk fishing. Any species goes, and feel free to just let us know in the chat what you want to talk about. But first, I motioned that we're going to talk about ponds for a little bit. And basically, when we talk about these different bodies of water, we're going to talk about species, techniques, and how to find new spots. Yep. Basically, talking ponds. Does anybody want to? Any of the other people want to talk? Because I'm talking a lot right here.
No, I mean, you're good.
Yeah. I guess to start us out with ponds, I guess just like bass is a good basic place.
It's pretty much
Harrison probably knows the most about bass and ponds.
Yeah. They're definitely.
But Harrison, what do you think the best lures would be for pond bass, especially around now?
Wintertime, obviously it's tough everywhere. Lakes, creeks, rivers, ponds, stuff like that. But ponds specifically, I'd say, jigs are pretty effective. You just really got to slow everything down. So even a drop shot, just to keep it a little bit elevated above the bottom, but just still be able to hop it off the bottom. That's pretty key a lot of the time. They're not too hard to figure out in ponds. You can kind of predict where they are a lot of the time in the deeper water, and you kind of know a lot of the ponds. So depending on which waters you're fishing, but yep, for this time, that's some of the tips that I got.
With what Harrison said about the depth, it helps a lot to know where the deep end is of the pond, where the shallow end, and where the drop-offs are. If you didn't dig that pond yourself or something, and you're fishing like a pond that belongs to someone, and you know the person who owns it, just go ask them if they happen to know, hey, when they were digging this, do you know which end is the deep end? You know where the drop-offs are? If they don't, it's fine, but that will really help you know where the bass are going to orient themselves different times of year. Sunfish Assassin fishes ponds 2 to 4 acres. That's on the big side for me.
Yeah.
I'd say my ponds are 1 to 2 acres.
Yeah.
Long ear, I think. Recovery bass and long ear are beautiful. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be catching some as soon as it gets warm out of the
I saw that pretty one that you caught. I agree with you. Now I think they're prettier than pumpkin seed.
Barely though. Pumpkin seeds are beautiful too, for sure. And they get pumpkin seeds get way bigger, so they got that going for them. Like I said, the state record long ear here is 4 ounces. I'm about to break that this year. Let's see. Yeah, all right. So again, about best lures for largemouth, it's going to depend. I'm a big soft plastic Senko guy, and I want to get out of that this year. But I think as soon as it gets like warm water, I'm going to be throwing a lot of the soft plastics, especially bigger ones and ribbon tails and stuff like that. Big motor oil worms and stuff when it gets hot, to really entice them to bite. Right now, go ahead, Harrison.
Sorry. I think another lure that's good that you can kind of slow down and fish fast is the jerk bait. It's pretty versatile for a hard bait.
Yeah, I like the jerk bait.
You can do long pauses and short pauses. So, and you can kind of keep it in the middle of the column. So.
Real quick. I want to address something in the chat. Fishing Man said, "Sunfish King, why you hate me?" Can we discuss that? What happened, dude? Hopefully he's joking, because I really hope that he's joking. I don't hate anybody in this chat. I like Fishing Man. He's a cool dude. Recovery bassin with the jerk bait. I was just about to say with the winter, like he said, drop shot. You want to do small stuff. I like grub style jigs with a curly tail and a little blade on it. But jerk bait has been killing it. I'm not a big jerk bait guy because I don't have experience, but I need to throw some before it gets. Joking, bro. Thank you, fishing man. I was worried. Yeah, jerkbait and square bill. I want to say the jerkbait's a little bit better for cold right now, and then as soon as it gets more into pre-spawn, I'll be throwing the square bill, and I want to experiment with a bunch of jigs and chatterbaits and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also like swim baits and stuff. I just got a bunch of good swim baits, so
like high techs and
try
stuff like
those
that,
out.
especially like lipless crankbaits, like rattle traps or something. You can kind of slow roll them or kind of yo-yo them off the bottom a little bit, and kind of gets them enticed to bite sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's more than just what lures you're throwing. There's techniques because the best fisherman can go out with one lure, and you can tell them, all right, you're not allowed to switch lures. You can only throw this all day. And what they're going to do is fan cast, cover as much water as they can, move around, but they're also going to switch up their techniques if they can't switch to a different color or a different lure or anything like that. Because you can fish the same lure, the same jig, the same crankbait, super slow retrieve, or spinner is a good one, or yo-yo it, or you can burn it in. You can do little twitches. Yeah. It's just really like you find out what they're hitting, and that's going to be good. And then if you mix it up, maybe you'll get another bass that's not hitting that exact.
Fucking Bass says biggest largemouth you ever caught. For me personally, it was a 4.1 pound largemouth in a Delaware neighborhood pond over the summer.
Yeah, for me it was a 3-pound largemouth. I didn't get an exact weight, so I'm not totally sure if it was a little over or not, but it was about a 3-pound largie out of this like tiny neighborhood pond. We had like no idea that like there is actually a ton of like super fat bass in there.
For me, if you go to my Fish Brain profile, click catches and click Buck and Bass has an 8.4 pounder on his wall. That you caught or that someone else caught?
Wow.
I'm just joking, man.
Oh my god.
Mine is 3 pounds 11, and it's one of those ones that looked like a 6-pounder, bro. Like it's one of those that looks just massive, and then I don't know what's in its stuff, air, like it's just bloated or something. So like Magnus, I don't think any red ears made it to 5 pound 13. I'll look that up, but I doubt that that's true. That's too big for a red ear sunfish. But mine was 3 pounds 11 ounces, and if you can look it up. If you look on my Fish Brain, there'll be pictures there. It's crappy pictures, but it's a big bass. It looks like I kept it because I'm in a shed, like a garage, like a shop, but the pond is right next to that shop. I did not do that.
Recovery bass is maybe there is a pounder.
Wow.
In Florida on live worms.
For me, I'm really
on live worms is sick, man. That's so sick.
Hopefully, I'll maybe try to get on first ever, and obviously PB peacock bass would be nice, and maybe a PB too.
Yeah. Magnus was right. That's a freaking tank. I seen that picture before, and I always thought it was like fake or something.
Yeah,
that's a big red ear, man. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know what red ear sunfish is, look up the record right now, and that's what they don't look like unless you find a monster.
Oh my
world
gosh,
record. All right, so fishing with G, it's disputed. The world record. There's like 2 that are up there. Some Japanese guy definitely caught one like not too long ago that was, I think, 20 something, maybe 18. I don't know, something like that. But there was a 22 pounder that's like an old black and white picture, and if you read the story, it says they never weighed it. They never actually weighed it on a scale. It was just estimated. And he said that he ate it too, which is crazy. Today,
no, that's awful. That's awful.
But I mean that's crazy. I don't know if it was 22 or not because they just didn't weigh it. They took estimations. But have you seen that picture? It's a freaking tank for sure. Sunfish Assassin. My biggest bass on a worm is 3 pound 5 ounce. So you're killing me on that.
I've like got like a 1.5 pound largie on a live worm.
Yeah, I've only caught like some, maybe like probably the biggest was like a pounder in a creek, maybe a bit less on a worm, but that's it.
Yeah, he ate it.
Yeah.
All right, so that was biggest largemouth, and then I was just gonna say like as we transition to
you got 11 people in the house.
What's up?
We got 11 people in the house. I was just saying that.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, everyone who's in here. If you haven't hit that like button, I don't know what you're doing yet. Basically,
make sure to subscribe to Sunfish King.
Everyone subscribe to the the three fine young gentlemen speaking right now, and anybody who is being nice to you in the chat, because it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to somebody, and you can always unsubscribe later if you don't like their stuff. So, Sunfish Assassin, he says he's been fishing since he was 2. That's what I wish. Like, you got that on me. I started when I was 24, so now it's like, dude, I got some catching up to do. But I caught 5,000 fish last week, so I think I literally, I haven't done the exact math, but it's over 40. It's over 4850. I think it's over 4,900. It's got to be 5,000. I will let you know as soon as I've tallied it all up, because I'm still going through micros.
What's up,
Henry Harrington? What is up?
What's up, Henry?
Bucking Bass loves creek fishing. I think everyone in this stream likes creek fishing here. On Friday, we're trying to do a live. Are you guys still wanting to do that, Harrison?
Yeah.
We're trying to do a live, little sneak peek here. We're trying to do a live fishing tournament between the 3 of us on Friday. And basically, I think they might be doing some creek fishing. I don't know what you guys are going for, but I'm going for trout.
Well, it might be pond fishing for catfish, possibly, and bass.
Yeah. It could be catfish and carp. Actually,
we might have to do a award for most fish and then an award for biggest fish too. Because if someone's going to grind out for a catfish, they better get rewarded. Because you catch a 10-pound catfish and the other guy caught 15 creek chubs, it's like, who really won there?
Yeah.
Bucking Bass is commenting the weirdest stuff right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna ignore that for now. It's funny, but I'm gonna ignore it. Sunfish Assassin, I love that picture, dude. I love that picture. Yeah. If I have any kids, I'm getting a freaking picture of them with a hog like that.
Joseph Dale's in the house.
Joe Bass King, Kansas. That's my homie. Here, fist bump the screen, man. Right there. Yep, I bet you did it. You did it. Magnus has fished as long as he can remember. I wish, man. I've been fishing just over a year. It was December 2019.
Yeah, same.
I want to say, okay, so I caught a couple fish as a little kid. Never really got into it. And then like October or November, I caught one fish in 2019 just screwing around. And I just put the rod down and didn't go back to it. Then December, I'd been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption and I was doing fishing. I was like, let's do it.
Yeah. With the thumb, that was a good thumbnail. You got to show me how to do those.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to show you, man. It's not that hard if you want to do it in Canva or you want to do it like it's super easy.
I just don't have the premium version.
I showed somebody who makes YouTube videos. He's not like huge or anything. If you like that thumbnail, he's like, bro, who made this? Like he literally thought someone else made it. What up, Joe? Bucking Bass loves the Red Dead. All right. I was wondering, it's usually the younger people like that and the older people just scroll right through it. I didn't know if I should keep making those fishing video game videos because it's like, you don't want to get too off topic. You know what I mean? It's like, I wish I could just release them to the people who.
I'm going to be honest, I watched like the first 2 lake sturgeon and then I clicked off, but it was cool, for the first.
That's the only one that I like. All the other ones before that I didn't cut. So they're like 20 minutes long and stupid. And like, it's weird. I got into YouTube and then it wasn't until a couple weeks ago that I'm like, I'm getting freaking serious. So like, I still have some videos that I've uploaded and haven't gone public yet that have like, issues and stuff like that. But I will upload better ones. And I will, whatever. I'm trying to get more serious about it. Make sure you fish around full moon. Sunfish Assassin, that's a good point. The bass, if you go out on a full moon, like midnight, 2 a.m., something like that, and catfish will bite too. I don't know all about the catfish with full moons. But
I heard about catfish that it's one of the worst nights. I'm not sure about that. I watched that in one of Luke from Catfishing Carp's videos. I'm not sure. He made that a while back.
How do you think that actually affects it, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
the moon affects a lot of stuff because in the ocean the moon literally affects the tides, so that's going to affect those fish a lot. And I don't know what it does in the lakes, but I think it's a pressure thing or something like that. But maybe pressure is a separate variable. I just know that when it's a full moon, maybe it's because the light or something like that. If you throw some type of spinnerbait that's going to somewhat reflect that light, I know people do like blue with white flecks or something like that, blue with sparkles, stuff like that, and they kill it. Catfish and carp during a full moon. I'm going to try. Henry Harrington, mark my words, I'm going to make a video, probably not a live because I don't want to be in my neighbor's yard or something fishing when it's midnight, but I'm going to go out during a full moon and try to do some catfish. I don't do carp fishing at night, really. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like definitely do some night catfishing. That'd be cool.
Yeah. On the Potomac, that would be nice.
Bucking Bass asked the deepest you ever got a hook stuck in you. I'll answer first. Not very deep. The deepest I ever got a hook stuck was a salmon egg hook, so it was easy to pull out. But my dad doesn't even fish, and he got hooked horribly. I won't go into detail because I don't want him to like throw up or pass out. But basically, I freaking ripped it out like you would rip a hook out of a fish with pliers.
Yeah, we were talking about this last stream. For me personally, it was actually this past fall, and it was with a treble hook and a jerk bait, and it was stuck in my net, and I was trying to rip it out, and it just got right in my pointer finger. They had to numb my finger and like.
Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, bucking bass. My dad, he didn't cry. He got one in so hard that when I tried to get it out using line, and he screamed. And then when I finally did pull it out, I mean, man, he really screamed. Never caught a fish on a spinnerbait. Let's get this back to ponds. Magnus said he's never caught a fish on a spinnerbait. Who throws spinnerbaits in ponds?
Definitely.
This guy. Yeah, I don't throw a lot of spinnerbaits for bass. That's gonna be something I get into more this year. I throw a lot of inline spinners for panfish.
You know, they're best in windy conditions, in murky water. That's what I would say.
When you throw a spinnerbait in wind and in murky water?
In murky water, and a lot of time when it's bright out, so for the reflectiveness.
So why would you not throw it in clear water? You think they just see it too much?
Yeah, so in clear water you want to go a bit more finesse on them. So something like a huge spinnerbait would just disrupt it a little bit.
Yeah, in clear water I'm throwing, I don't know, maybe like a blue and white Cinco or something like that. Joe said it's all about conditions. It really is. Like I'll take this back to trout, and when I'm fishing for trout with a spinner, I'm gonna throw that gold one when it's clear water or sunny skies, no clouds. If it's muddy water, I'm gonna throw or cloudy, I'm gonna throw the silver one. But if they're not biting, I'll switch up. Sometimes it works. So I mean, don't just go on Google and go. There's a bass chart you can find. This color. I'm using watermelon green and pumpkin because it told me to. I'm not catching anything. You got to mix it up. Like the best bass fishermen will go throw something for 20 minutes, and if they don't get anything, they'll switch it up.
I love to fish ploppers and whoppers. They are great topwater bait. I think you should get one and try it.
Let's talk topwater and ponds for sure. I'm gonna grab some stuff. You guys go ahead and talk while I grab some items here.
I actually have my fishing bag right here.
So obviously, this is my favorite so far to throw topwater wise, just because I've literally caught 2 topwater fish in my life, and it was both on a frog, and it was probably about. I keep holding the wrong one. The thing is mirrored for me, so I always see the wrong hand. But yeah, I throw about this one. Like it's like a yellow on the bottom. I wish I could show you the bottom, but yeah, white or yellow. But then if it's like muddy water, you can get away with a darker one too. I
use most of them, but these were the BioSpawn Exo Swims. This is in the 4-inch version, and you can put these on the trailers of spinnerbaits, or you can just fish them on like a Texas rig setup and just kind of yo-yo it, or you can fish it, just straight retrieve it. But these are very key during the fall and in the spring when you're trying to get them moved from deep water to shallow water before they spawn.
I need to get better with those, man. But yeah, but back talking about topwaters for sure. This is the Whopper Plopper. If anyone doesn't know what that is,
I actually got that one.
I have 3. I got white, I got like a cream color, and I got a black. And the black is called Loon. The white is called Powder. The cream one's called Bone. And I've heard that those are 3 of the best colors.
Thank you so much.
The black one's out in my car, but yeah, I got these 2. I haven't even opened them yet. I need to throw them. I'm gonna get a big old blow up on them as soon as it gets warm. I know I am.
Yeah,
the black is.
I really want to get buzz baits blow up. I know Henry was saying something about buzz baits are the best topwater bait, but I'm still waiting on mine.
Buck and bass, you're gonna get some time out. You need to be careful with that random comment.
So I actually got this in my mystery tackle box. I believe like maybe 3 or 4, probably like 3 months ago. It's interesting. It's kind of like a buzz bait because it's got the thing in the back, but it's also like Texas rig style. It's interesting, and I'm going to be trying to use it more throughout the summer. It's pretty reflective on the back.
What's up, Jaden?
What's up, Jaden Danger? Cool. I don't know if I know who you are. Buck and bass, it's okay. Just it was fine with the random stuff, and then you started talking about you know which
hey, we got 14 people.
14. That might be a record.
14. Nice guys.
12 last time. But hi, Jaden Danger. I never got finished saying hi. I don't know who you are. Go ahead and sub to everybody here and check out our channels. Give us some feedback. Let's talk more fishing and less baits. All right, Sunfish Assassin.
Okay, yeah.
You know, fish without baits, but yeah, for sure. What do you guys have in the ponds around you? People in the chat, go ahead and comment, and you guys go ahead and tell me what you like to fish for in ponds.
Yeah, I mean, around here in Maryland, it's just like the basic stuff. We have usually catfish and sometimes carp, and they're just like bluegill and bass. But yeah, let us know in the chat what you guys have, and then we'll have more of a idea on what you want to talk about.
you just saying like every fish that like species that we have around here, or what are you saying?
Just what do you, when you're going to a pond, what's on the top of your mind, or what are you trying to fish for usually? It's going to be a couple different species, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely bass right off the bat. There are no smallmouth bass in any of the ponds that we have.
They don't do well in ponds.
Yeah. But yeah, just usually like catfish, carp, and a lot of times I'll actually catch the bluegill that I might use as bait for the catfish. So
yeah, if you catch a sunfish in the pond, you know that if there's big fish in there, they're probably eating those sunfish that are in the pond.
Yeah,
so it's a good idea.
Those are good for
Catfish,
bass too. Yeah,
they're all predatory fish going to be feeding on those bait. So
for sure, yeah. If you catch a shad out of that pond, go ahead and throw a shad back in. That's like bass candy. Fishing ATX got bass and sunfish. Yeah, most ponds around my area have bass and sunfish, and then you'll get lucky if you get bullheads and other catfish, and then carp as well. Every once in a while, there's something different. I put a drum in my pond, not realizing that they need a bunch of moving water, so it's good. It probably died. And I put a red horse suckerfish in there too, which is more of a stream species, so it probably died as well. I put 2 carp over 15 pounds in there, a 14-pounder and a 16-pounder and a 17-pounder, and I think I've caught them each once already since putting them in, which is cool. They're grass carp. I'm amazed that they haven't died yet.
So that's fucking bass. We don't really have trout in ponds here.
Yeah, they don't stock trout ponds because it's too warm in Missouri. But I know in Colorado there are definitely some trout ponds. I know when I was traveling through like Winter Park area, they got some public parks that have trout in the ponds. That's cool. Sunfish Assassin said, "We'll be doing a catch, clean, and cook. We'll be doing a catch, clean. Are you actually going to do it with the snapping turtle? If you, Sunfish Assassin, if you catch, clean, and cook a snapping turtle and make something good out of it, I will go and do that because we have monster snapping turtles out here. I caught like a 35-pound one last year, and I thought it was like the biggest fish in the world. Wondering why it wasn't fighting. It was just kind of rolling around. But yeah, I just clipped the line. I wasn't going to mess with that thing. I almost had my finger eaten off by one of those one time."
One more tip for this upcoming spring, to kind of just match the hatch a little bit. If you want to imitate like a crawfish or anything like that, sorry, I know we said we wouldn't talk that much more baits, but I just want to like,
we're definitely going to
really will help you out. If you use comes in a red color, like this red lipless right here, trying to imitate those crawfish, they will definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely good.
Going by.
That's billless, right? There's no bill on that.
Yeah, this is just lipless.
I like that. What brand is that?
It's Booyah, I believe.
Okay.
It's like the Booyah One Knocker or something.
Yeah, I like red crawl imitations, and I like the shad imitations as well. The shad imitations that could also look somewhat like a bluegill, those are my favorite. Obviously, it'd probably be better to imitate one or the other and stick with it. But the one I throw kind of looks like this, and to me, when I see it swimming through the water, it looks like a female bluegill swimming around just as much as it looks like a shad. So I feel like you'd be good throwing that if you got light. I don't like those lures a lot that buck and bass. Are you talking about the one that Harrison was showing? Probably.
I mean, it doesn't take a lot to fish it right. You can just yo-yo it off the bottom, burn it real fast, or just you kind of slow it up. It's not too hard to fish, but if you want to match the hatch during the spring, once they're moving shallow, that's definitely going to get them to bite, especially in the spring.
That's about all.
Hey, fishing with what's up?
Sunfish Assassin says, "Yeah, what's up, fishing with Wid? How's it going, man?" Sunfish Assassin said crayfish are the #1 food for any bass in a river if they are there, any kind. He's actually right. And trout as well. You wouldn't even think about it. I saw an experiment not too long ago where somebody went to a cut open. I think it was a pike, a trout, and a smallmouth all out of the same river. And the trout had 90% of what was inside of it as far as food material was crawfish. The bass was like 70%, and then the pike was like a 60% or something like that. So all 3 of the species were eating mostly crawls. So you can definitely catch any of those on crawl stuff. And Buck and Bass said he's a plastic lizard guy. What about you guys, Harrison, Griffin? You guys throw plastic lizards ever?
I did actually at camp, or the summer at camp. We were kind of on a lake, and that was the best bait you could use there. Just a green, probably 6 or 7 inch lizard. It's actually kind of big, but they would just go for it. I mean, whether you straight retrieved it or hopped it off the bottom, I mean, that was key. We also had grass carp there, which was pretty awesome.
Ashton Basson says, "What's up? A curly tail grub." Henry Harrington, what's up, Ashton Basson? Henry Harrington says a curly tail grub is the best bait of all time if fishing is tough. I do like to downsize and throw that, especially one with a little blade on it of some form. Would be awesome. Zoom lizard. Ashton Basson, are you asking to hop on the live with us, or what are you asking? Harrison, I got a question for you. You said that 4 people was rough to have on a live. But I know we're doing this thing, trying to do it weekly. I think it'd be cool if we could every once in a while, like, let people jump in. But I don't know if 4's too many. Like, we could experiment.
No, we could test it out. No problem. I mean,
And basically, I just need to try not to talk over everybody like I always do. But yeah, Ashton Basson, go. I'll put the link in if you do want to join for a second. I think we're gonna. Yeah, I should get on the live. Yeah, you can join in and talk for a little bit. We're about to start talking lakes and different species and stuff in lakes. We were just talking ponds for a while, but there's the link. You can try to hop on. Harrison, you got any big lakes around you? You fish lakes a lot near where you're at?
The biggest lake in Maryland. It's technically a reservoir, but I consider it a lake. It's called Deep Creek Lake. It's in all the way western Maryland, in like Cumberland, Maryland. And it is very, it's freaking giant. I'm not sure how many acres exactly, but it's got so many different types of species in there. Anywhere from bass, perch, crappie, sunfish, bluegill, white perch and yellow perch, walleye, pike, pickerel, muskie. It's literally got everything. But I've never been there. I hope to get up there this spring, hopefully. But for me, we have 2 decent sized lakes around here. One is what's called Clopper Lake, which isn't huge, and another one is Little Seneca Lake. And I've fished both this before. Definitely caught some bass out of there.
Cool. Yeah, we don't have the white perch or the yellow perch near me. The white perch are far. The yellow perch I could go a couple hours trying to get into them. They're east of me. We got in the chat Ashton Basson. I don't know if you still want to join. DM me on Fishbrain next time you do one. Yeah, for sure, man. We will. We'll let you know in advance. It's mostly just the 3 of us because 4 people for the whole time might be too many, but we can let you on for a few minutes or whatever. 412 Outdoors. What's up? He says he loves Deep Creek. And then Sunfish Assassin said he has a 260 and a 500. I'm guessing acre lake where he kayaks. I freaking love kayaking. I don't think
search that real quick. I think it's over 700 for sure.
Deep Creek has a little bit of everything, says Fishing with G. So the 7 people who are in here right now, you guys have probably all already hit the like button because you're super awesome. So if you haven't, go ahead and do that. Trying to get back to the chat, KK sounds good. Yeah, we'll let you know, man. Yeah. We're trying to do this. We're doing this every Tuesday, Ashton Basson. So we'll be doing it next Tuesday around
way bigger than I thought. It's near 4,000 acres big. It's 3,100.
That's massive. Yeah. Henry Harrington says the green sunfish. Since we're talking lakes, let's talk sunfish, guys. Everyone comment what your favorite sunfish to catch is. Henry Harrington says green sunfish. Let me break it down real quick. I put a post on Sunfish Nation recently in Facebook. I think that's Sunfish Assassins group. But congrats on 300. Thanks, Ashton Basson. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to Harrison. We both recently got that. But for me, it's like, all right, bluegill are like the old faithful. They're the reliable. They're always going to be there. They're fun to catch. They're fun. They're really good to eat. Green sunfish are the most aggressive. I like them for aggression. They will smack, whatever lure you put in front of them. They fish in shallow water, and I use them to know if the bite's good. Basically, I'm going to keep going out every few days when it warms up, and as soon as green sunfish are biting in 2 feet of water near a bunch of rocks, because that's where you fish for them, then I know the bite's good.
Always bite for me.
They freaking always bite right in the shallow place for me. Yeah, that's where I always. But then red ear sunfish or shell cracker is my favorite to eat and probably my favorite to fight. They get really big, and then long ear is the most beautiful. So that's how I kind of break it down. Oh yeah, and Sunfish Assassin says he likes to fish with green sunfish. What is your guys' favorite sunfish to use for bait? Because mine's either going to be green sunfish, long ear, or bluegill. The problem with long ear is they die too easy. Green sunfish are pretty hardy; they'll last.
I would say bluegill because they're pretty hardy and they just kind of stay on. They stay alive for a good amount of time.
Ashton Basson, I'm putting my email in the chat right now, Ashton Basson. Go ahead, Harrison.
Sorry, guys. My puppy's like freaking out. I might have to leave for a little and then rejoin.
Yeah. You're fine. Whatever you need to do, man.
All right, thanks. I might be able to come back in a little.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so Henry Harrington's personal best green sunfish is 9.5. I never do lengths for some reason. I wish I did. If you guys go to my my Fishbrain right now and click on catches and click green sunfish, look at my PB. It's freaking blue. It doesn't even look like a green sunfish. The thing was great granddaddy green sunfish. It's crazy. It was only 11 ounces, but almost a pound.
If any of you guys haven't already, we'd appreciate it if you guys please check out both the channels. Please consider subscribing. We're now 50 minutes into the live stream. Appreciate you guys that are still in here. And
for sure, we're going to try to do this for about 2 hours, guys. So when that hits 2 hours, if the chat's winding down, we'll wrap it up. If not, I'll see what Harrison wants to do. He can hop off whenever, and I'll go a little bit longer as long as people want to chat since I'm hosting this thing. And then let me answer these two things. Sunfish Assassin said, green sunfish are the hardiest for the gar to eat. Throw them out 5 times, still kicking. That's awesome. I've never seen a gar in my area big enough to take a green sunfish unless it was like that baby one I posted on Facebook.
I've never seen a gar.
So if you have them in your creeks, and it'll be go to your creek on a warm day and just watch the surface because they swim right by the surface.
We do not have them. I'm like 100% sure.
Okay, yeah, no, it's like me with pike. When people tell me pike tips, I'm like, I'm in Missouri, bro. We don't have them. So, same thing. But yeah, I've caught all my gar on worms. I think one on cut bait, which was bluegill cut bait. But if I see big gar somewhere, I'll go for bigger ones. I know they have them in a couple Kansas lakes somewhere near me. I did not get that auger Ashton bass, and it's everything's melted now. There would have been no point. And then, do you fish deep water for sunfish? Jaden Danger, let me answer that. I fish incredibly shallow water for green sunfish, and usually long ear or rivers or creeks. A lot of hybrids in the creeks. And then bluegills, you can fish a little deeper. Red ears, you can fish a little deeper, a little further out. I've found that if I'm fishing like live bait or something, putting it on a bobber, you get the smaller ones. Putting it on the bottom, you get the bigger ones. Harrison, What about you? You fish deep water for sunfish?
Yeah, I have done that before off a John boat before. I did that mostly in the summer and like late spring.
Yeah, and I do jig with little crappie jigs like Bobby Garland. I'll see if I have any of those around. These type of things, little Bobby Garland crappie jigs. Put those on a 1/16 ounce or 1/32 ounce jig head, and I'll fish some deep water off a kayak with that. But they hit in shallow as well. I'll just drop it down and do vertical jigging as I fish under the kayak, or I'll throw it at the bank and slow retrieve it at me with the little jigging.
I'm definitely gonna try to save up some money for a nice kayak or something like that. Anything to get off the bank.
Sunfish Assassin, would you believe that I've never found a place like that yet? I haven't done enough experiencing to find a river with a 4-foot deep eddy. Here's my river. Either my rivers should be called creeks because I'm fishing them in the incredibly shallow part and they're like not a river and they're nowhere near 4 feet, or they're like the Kansas River, which I'm assuming is like freaking 20-something feet out there. Like it's crazy deep. So yeah, I will try to find that.
Potomac's really deep too, as well in some parts. Some parts are like 30, 40 feet deep.
That's crazy. Plastic bass hunter John boat. Yeah, I don't think John boat's something I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna get a nice kayak, and then I'm just gonna wait until I'm like actually have a bunch of money and just go straight from a kayak to an actual boat with a motor. I don't see, like, for me, I don't need a John boat. That's like a bass fisherman thing. If you don't need to be going fast and moving to a lot of places. I'm a multi-species fisherman. I like to cover the whole water in a kayak, get around as much as I can. There's not really a time I would want to jump. I've never trolled before. I don't do trolling or anything like that as far as trolling baits. What kind of line do you use? Jaden Danger? I mean, obviously that's going to depend for everything. If you're talking about sunfish, you're going to want to use lighter line. Sometimes bluegills, a lot of the times, bluegills won't care. You can use 20-pound line and they'll smack it. Green sunfish too. But for the fight and just in case they're picky and they can see that line, you're going to want to use a lighter line, like 2 or 4 pound, maybe 8-pound fluoro or mono. I wouldn't use braid necessarily for them.
Yeah, like if you're fishing for bass, and also it depends on the type of bait that you're using. If you're using a sinking or floating bait, like braid and monofilament, they float. Fluorocarbon sinks. So if you're using a Texas rig Senko, you're going to want to use fluorocarbon. If you're using a topwater frog, you're going to want to use. You could use a braid leader to a braid main line to a monofilament leader, or you can just go straight braid.
Yeah, I'd probably do straight braid personally on a frog, just because the stretch factor.
Yeah.
And also, you want strong braid to get yourself out of thick weeds and stuff like that.
Yep.
You don't want to. You don't want that leader to snap and you lose your PB in the weeds. But I mean, I'm not saying it won't work for sure. A lot of people use leaders. I think I'm lazy is another reason why I don't do it. Sunfish Assassin said the rivers there are creeks. I agree with that around me for the most part.
Yeah. For brands though of lines, I would say, especially for braid, Power Pro, very reliable. Maybe for fluorocarbon, I do like using P line. I've used them many times.
Yep. That's what Power Pro looks like if you guys don't know. Power Pro is freaking awesome. This is the yellow. You don't want to use that for like carp or something that are going to see it, or bass in clear water.
Like dark green for like my main line, one of my like flipping jigs for like bass setups.
Yeah, this is like moss green. It literally almost looks black. Like those are the two colors I have. If I'm fishing like, and I don't want the fish to see it at all, like I'm doing clear water, I'm fishing for carp or something like that. If I'm fishing for catfish, I really don't think I'm going to see this yellow line. They're just going by smell for the most part. But again, I don't need to see the line either for catfish. It's more of a bass thing for me. So it's a give and take.
Yep.
30-pound braid on a bass pole. If you have 30-pound braid, you're probably going to be throwing a top water or something, but I'd go up to like 50 if I were you.
Top water or something in the thick stuff, like big, like football jigs, something like that, punching jigs.
Yeah. So for Jaden Danger, I wouldn't really put 30-pound braid on any of my bass stuff. I'm either going to go 12 to like 16 fluoro if I'm throwing, soft plastics or something like that, or maybe even a crank. But I'm going to put on more like 50-pound braid if I'm going deep weeds and stuff. Henry Harrington caught his first fish through the ice on Sunday. It was a catfish. Yeah. I didn't expect it to be a catfish. That's awesome. I've never ice fished. I take that back. Technically, I fished through the ice and caught a couple trout, but I wasn't standing on the ice. I had thrown a rock out from the bank on a stringer and broke it and fished through that hole that I made.
Yeah, I definitely want to do ice fishing somewhat soon. Yep. Like I was in Deep Creek. They got super thick ice, at least a foot sometimes. So I definitely got to hit up that sometime, maybe next year.
Sunfish Assassin, you talking about for bass? Because it should make a difference for bass if you're using, and especially for carp if you're using the different
I've never
colors.
Seen
but Sunfish Assassin said earlier he uses 6, 8, and 10 mono. Always wanted to float sometimes. When I'm doing my creek fishing, like with live worms and just a bunch of multi-species stuff, I'm usually using 8 or 10-pound mono for sure. I'll sometimes bring one with 20-pound mono if I know I'm gonna be going for something.
Almost always for creek, I'm using 6-pound fluoro.
6. I don't really throw fluoro in the creek, but unless I'm bringing my bass rod, like if I know there's bass there, I'm going to be fishing for bass a little different. If I'm just going to a creek I've never been before, I might bring a bass rod, or I might just bring a couple like multi-species.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot of times just fishing either for like sucker fish or fall fish or creek chub, sunfish, stuff like that. You want it to sink, but I mean, even if you got a split shot on there with monofilament, you'd be fine.
I just want to say thanks again for everyone joining in. This is literally my second live stream ever, so. Yeah. Sunfish Assassin told us earlier we were talking a little too much about baits and not enough about fish. We can anytime we're like, hey, you guys have been talking about line for 10 minutes. Just comment. We'll probably listen to your advice unless we're having a really good conversation. We like feedback. Just again, keep it positive, keep it friendly, have some fun. Let's talk fishing. I think we start talking about rivers. We kind of transferred into that a little bit. I literally Fish Slayer Freshwater. What is up? He says, hi, Sunfish King. Fish Slayer Freshwater. If you don't know SharpFishingTV, go ahead and check him out.
Appreciate it.
1 second. So I need to get a bigger rod for carp, catfish, stuff like that for the river. My biggest one's only 6.5 feet, but this is a medium heavy ugly stick. Mm-hmm. And obviously you're going to have more weight than this. This is literally like a ½ pound of weight. I'm going to get a big 2 to like, depending on the current, like maybe even 8 or 9 ounce, like a no roll sinker. And I'm gonna put that on like a 3-way swivel or something.
I appreciate that, Fish Slayer Freshwater. Thank you so much.
Cut bait for catfish, stuff like that. When I'm fishing rivers, I've usually got one big rod like that or 2 big rods like that for catfish with cut bait or live bait, and I'm using big circle hooks. And then I usually, because I like to catch everything, I usually have another rod smaller, maybe more like this.
My bad.
I heard some weird noise. Anyway, yeah, this Lose thing. It's a Lose Xfinity speed stick. It's 6'6", medium. Yeah, medium action, fast spinning. And I'm gonna throw something like that. Oh, I hit my ceiling. In more shallow water with like a worm or something like that. I really like to use worms, especially after it rains. Shallow water is awesome because if you go into the river and you're trying to do some catfishing, it's always fun to catch something else, and then you might just run out of bait and go ahead and catch yourself bait in the shallow water as well.
I just posted my link in there for anybody that hasn't subscribed, just to make it easier on you. But yeah.
The best red breast fishing, Sunfish Assassin. I've never caught a red breast. We don't have red breast in my state, so I'm gonna have to travel to find one of those, probably east.
Line preference for carp.
Yeah, go ahead with that if you know.
So a lot of time for surface carp fishing, where I'm at, one of the ponds that we have really turns on in like kind of like late spring and through the fall, and kind of like a little bit of the springtime. It turns on for the surface bite of carp. So I like to use a main braid. I'm gonna get to a like about probably, I'd say a 10 to 15 pound monofilament leader, just to give you that, floating.
For me, my big carp that I caught on Fish Brain was more like old school methods. That big 41 pounder, and then most of my carp, really, if not all of them, have been this way. With just, I'm just using again something like this that's just got a quarter ounce to these are each a quarter ounce or a half ounce of weight on there, and it's better to just have one and not do two. But I'm lazy, like I said, and I will use like at the most 8 or 10 pound mono if I'm doing carp because they can really see it. But if I'm fishing the river and I'm going for a big carp, what I'm doing is I'm bringing like the same rods I'm doing for catfish. It's gonna be a big old rod. You don't need to do a super thick rod that's like a shark rod that's this thick. It's actually good to have bend and stuff, especially when you're fighting the fish. If you look up like Fishing Magician 2.0 on YouTube, you'll see the rods he has. They're really long and they're skinny, like real skinny on the ends. But I'm gonna throw like a 30 to 40 pound, maybe 30 pound braid in whatever color, like moss green, whatever I'm trying to match the conditions. And then I'm gonna have a long leader on there. If you can't do a uni knot, just do a swivel. Do a long leader so the carp isn't gonna see your line at all. Like literally like a 3 foot long leader, and that's where I'm gonna do. At the most, I'm gonna do like 20 pound because I mean the carp will still gonna see the 20 pound, but maybe in a muddy river you might get away with it. And then you're gonna again use worms, use corn, use pack bait, boilies, stuff like that.
Me and Griffin, we made our homemade pack bait. It was actually it's one of the best smelling baits. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's strawberry jello, corn, and it's the classic, and panko breadcrumbs, and you just stick that together, and it's really solid, really effective. I've caught both catfish and carp on it.
For sure. Henry Harrington said corn's his favorite bait for common carp. He's never caught a grass carp. Yeah, in my area, it's more grass carp than common carp. I was bass fishing one day, and there's some other bass fishermen across the bank from me, and I saw carp going crazy, and I hadn't caught a bass in like 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. I was like, screw it. I had a can of corn just conveniently in my car, in my bait thing, and I put that under a float on one of my rods I had in my car. And, dude, it was less than 5 minutes later, I had a 10-pound carp on, and all the bass fishermen across the bank, they had set their rods down, and they're, of course, thinking I hooked up with a bass or something like that. They're going crazy. It was pretty awesome. I caught that 10-pounder, but he didn't freaking make it, so I ended up having to eat him. If anyone thinks that's gross, that's fine, but smoked carp's actually really good. I have Asians in my family. They make really good smoked carp.
Fish Slayer, freshwater, definitely Heritage for carp. Griffin from Forward Fishing, he just left a minute ago, but he's a very avid carp fisherman himself, and he's got some
videos. That sucks that he left right when we started talking about carp. He probably knows more about any of us because hair rig is awesome. If you look up self-made on Fish Brain, he uses the hair rig a lot, or like different types of rigs like that. And I don't know, I've never used the hair rig, so I guess I need to branch out more this year and use other stuff. NKR, you're fine. Just join us next time, man. Glad to have you in the chat, buddy.
Thanks so much.
Bread too. Sunfish Assassin says bread. Bread works good for carp and catfish. Really, you can catch anything on bread, honestly.
So when I was talking about that floating setup for carp surface fishing, we usually always use about half piece to a whole piece of bread, and there's a certain technique that you can actually make it so it completely floats and you don't like condense it, and so it doesn't sink.
Yeah, there's a way to do that. And then I know some people who do it even a little different. They don't want it to float. They want it to be buoyancy neutral. So they clamp it down a little more, make it a little more compact than that. And then instead of floating on the top, it'll like sink a little bit and it'll just kind of stay there. And if something moves it, it'll kind of move and go with it. It doesn't sink and it doesn't float. So it really depends. Sunfish Assassin, his only carp was 25-pound plus while he was camping. That's freaking sick. Those fights so good. I might have seen that picture on Fish Brand. I think you posted that, didn't you?
You're back on Outdoors. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. We're just doing a stream, a multi-species talk. Currently, we were just I don't know if we're wrapping up, but we were in the midst of talking about carp fishing.
For sure, yeah. We're talking about river fishing right now. We hit on pond fishing and lake fishing. We're talking about river fishing, and then if we got time, we're going to get into some creeks. And then I want to ask you guys about saltwater because I've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the duck.
What?
What was the duck? One bread floating. Fishing with G says still here. LOL. Yeah, I don't know where Griffin went.
Yeah, he said there was something going on with his dog.
Gotcha. All right, so I do have questions for people in the chat. There's only 4 of us. Thank you guys for sticking it out. Basically, if you guys have any advice for catfishing in the river, like a big river or whatever, even a smaller river, because I go out for big cats in the river and I have okay luck, but I mean, I've never caught a big cat out there. And I usually get something besides cat. I usually get a gar or a drum or something like that, whether it's cut bait or a worm or whatever. I usually don't use worms for catfish. That's the rod closer to the bank that I was telling you about. So if anyone has any advice, I think I'm going to stick with my GX2 medium heavy until it freaking breaks on me or something like that. But everything I said,
very reliable.
Yeah. Worms is just the best. Yeah, it's hard to catch a giant catfish on worms. Worms is really good for smaller cats,
especially for
hot dogs. Yes, hot dogs.
Because blue catfish are more like predatory fish, so they're gonna want to go something either it has a really significant smell to it, or like that's something that they can chase. So kind of like bass, they're more similar to bass than like channel catfish are to bass.
Fed him worms on the bank while I caught the carp.
Fish layer is how big of a river?
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking rivers in general, any river. So like, I would think that a deep river, and especially a really deep spot in a deep river, maybe by a dam or a spillway or something, would be good for catfish. But then also, if you're looking at a smaller river, that's going to be almost easier to find them because they're going to be in the deep pockets. I know a lot of people have done float trips, and they will just pass over all the shallow where it's 1 or 2 feet, and they'll stop at every big hole next to timber. They get those 2 things, get some wood and get a big hole. They'll literally stop and just fish there with cut bait, or I've seen live grasshoppers, all types of stuff. Catch these.
Later, special order says he sticks with the Carolina rig and chicken liver, and that is a very awesome choice. Yeah, pretty classic. Can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, I think my first catfish was on chicken liver, but that was when I was a little kid, and I haven't caught anything on them since then.
I've only caught stuff on like chunks of like bluegill. I've never used chat as bait, and I'd like to use buffalo carp as well in the upcoming spring for big cats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know all those big fishermen guys. They use carp or I don't know, mullet maybe for bait, suckerfish, white bass, stuff like that. What up, Weston Hamilton?
Thanks for tuning in.
In rivers where creeks or branches come into it. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite spots to fish Sunfish Assassin because I don't really like to fish the deep parts for too long because it gets boring.
Okay. For Griffin can come back now is what you're saying. There we go.
Hopefully you weren't sitting there for a while trying to join me. I'm so bad at this stuff.
No, that was just like a minute.
Okay.
You make this really like kind of like small.
Does this view better, or do you want to go back to like that?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Is that better? Yeah. It's more fair. All right, so for sure, Weston Hamilton said what's up, and then Sunfish Assassin we were just talking about. He likes to fish for catfish in the river where creeks or branches come into it. So
yeah,
I would assume if it's like a real shallow creek coming into it, it's probably gonna be more into where the actual river is. But yeah, right near that, I gotta try that for sure. I really like those spots.
Some water real quick. I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes.
For sure.
That's exactly what Henry just said.
I might go. I gotta be back. I might be back later. Yeah, for sure. Henry Harrington, no big deal if you can't join back in. Thank you so much. Hit that like button if you haven't before you head out. I'm sure you already have. Thank you. I don't know how to check how many likes we have. Probably go into YouTube and look at it, but I don't want to mess with that right now.
Yeah, I can check on my phone. The crazy thing is how carp and catfish can survive in small bodies of water. Yeah, catfish can live in some terrible conditions, and so can carp.
Yeah, carp can't survive as well. I know commons do a lot better than the squishy grass carp. Grass carp dies super easy. They have oxygen issues just like trout do. So it's harder to keep them in ponds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're talking about creeks and stuff like that, I think during the winter, because I'll go to the same creeks, and I have multiple times this winter, as I normally fish when it's warmer, and see nothing, literally see no fish. So I imagine that they swim from those creeks into deeper rivers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that might have
Mm-hmm.
something to do with what Sunfish Assassin was talking about, catfish going from the creeks into the deeper to spawn and feed. It usually washes out. The catfish come back to spawn and feed. Yeah, and Sunfish Assassin, I've heard you can fish for catfish in the middle of the day. You can fish for them at night, whatever. I've heard that as it starts to get dark is when the catfish come more shallow. And I don't know if they're feeding or what they're doing, but yeah, I've heard that catfish aren't necessarily a nocturnal species like people think they are. They'll be awake and feeding during the day and everything like that.
Yeah, I have heard that.
But yeah, I've heard that at night and when it starts to get dark is when they come into the shallows. So that's when people start casting a little bit more shallow as it gets dark if they've been fishing all day. Thanks, Fishing with G, for 21 likes is what we have.
That's likes, cool. Yeah, nice.
I like it.
Yeah, I lied. I grabbed the cookie too.
Good night, NKR. Yeah, dude, I realized before we started this that I hadn't eaten anything, so I ran to the gas station. I got back here with like 30 seconds to start the freaking thing. And luckily nobody was in the chat or anything when I started.
Yeah.
I joined in and it said 0 were watching. I was like, what did I do wrong? But yeah, I grabbed a pizza. I grabbed some Monsters, even though we're not doing another 5-hour thing. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So does anybody want to start getting into creeks? It seems like Sunfish Assassin's transition would be awesome to start talking about creek fishing, which is like my freaking specialty. If anyone wants to say anything else about rivers, you have like 30 seconds in the chat to say, hey, let's talk about I'm just joking. We're not going to cut it off.
One like equals one cookie.
One like equals one cookie. Who's providing the cookies? I can't be sending cookies out.
We're going to make YouTube send cookies to everybody.
Yeah, when I get monetized, I'm like, yo, don't send me a check. Can you just like pay my subscribers in cookies or whatever?
Yeah.
I have kept them in aquariums, so I may have an opinion on what. You've kept what in aquariums? Because the last thing we were talking about was catfish.
Fish Sailor Freshwater says he's gonna have a channel catfish video coming out soon. Fishing 101.
Looking forward to it, Fish Slayer Freshwater. I'd like to see you use different types of baits, maybe different rigs, and I'd like to, if you're going to channel Catfishing 101, it'd be cool if you have the opportunity to cover still water versus moving water. So catching them in a lake versus catching them in a stream or something like that. Just a suggestion. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Sunfish Assassin says the creek is 6 inches to 18 inches. I feel like most creeks, they're kind of structured that like they'll have sections where it's just like 6 inches of water for a really long time. And then they'll have these like 4 foot deep pools. So that's where you're going to be catching like all the bass and big sunfish and stuff. But
yeah,
mainly just like tiny fish in those shallow
a lot
parts.
of the pattern that you have is like you have a flat, and then you kind of have a little bit of rapids with rocks, and you have a dam, and then you have a really deep hole that is flowed into, and then it kind of just goes a little bit.
So yeah, the difference with that. All right, so let me talk about 2 different types of creeks with that depth and stuff. Cold water creeks, like you're gonna have trout in. I don't know if anybody in this chat even lives in places that has native trout, stuff like that. But the cold water creeks that have trout, it's going to be a lot of that area where it's 6 to 18 inches, and you're not going to see much. If you can fast retrieve a spinner and not get it caught in the rocks while you're moving from one deep hole to the other, it's definitely worth casting out into those little spots, because I've caught some decent trout in those areas. And then moving on to warm water, you'll catch all types of sunfish. That's the spot to do the micro fishing. A lot of times is those little the shallow areas that's rapid moving water, especially near some rocks where it's breaking it up. But then moving to a hole or something like that, that's when I'll stop moving and casting, and I'll sit there for a while. If it's a cold water thing, I'm probably doing a spinner for trout, and I'm fan casting, bringing it in, fan casting, trying to cover that whole hole maybe once or twice, and then maybe switching colors before I go to the next hole. If it's a warm water stream, I get there, that's where I'll start fishing for the bass if I have a bass rod with me. If not, if I'm just still doing multi-species fishing, but that's, you know, where I'm going to get into like a carp or a big, I've caught, I think, a 4.5 pound drum out of one of those random holes. And that was like the craziest fight ever.
Wow.
Some of those creek holes are awesome. That's where I've caught some really nice
drum in your creeks.
Freshwater drum. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we had those.
Yeah, big freshwater drum. They fight hard.
Yeah,
they're relatively similar.
What are you saying?
Not exactly the same. Suckers, they're relatively similar, but not the same.
We got red or sucker
fish.
They fight hard. I like them too. I've caught 2 of them. But yeah, those deeper holes, if I'm multi-species fishing, I'll have 2 rods with me, usually like medium rods, somewhere around 6 feet, or even my light rods. And I'll get like a rod stand or a backpack. Here's a good example of a good rod stand. You can't use this in a rocky bank though. It's not going to stick in. That's where I'll just bring a backpack and just lean my stuff up. But this is supposedly a 2-rod stand, but I know you guys have seen my trout videos where I use it for 3 freaking rods. 1 in the middle, 1 here, 1 here. I almost never get them tangled either. You just cast 1 way to the right, 1 in the middle, and 1 way to the left, and you won't get tangled. Like, you've seen the catfish, put out 10 rods in a circle around them and somehow never get tangled at nighttime. It's like, I don't get it. Yeah. It works. But yeah, I'll just put out 2 of those on a rod stand or on something with worms. And I don't like to just sit there and wait. Like if I'm waiting there 30 seconds, 60 seconds and no rod's moving, I don't like bottom fish with worms. I actively fish. I'll either slow reel 1 in, or I'll reel 1 in, cast it, and then while that one's sitting for a second, I'll reel the next one in and cast it. Or even if I have 1 rod, I'll just do it over and over. Let it drop to the bottom, let it sit maybe 20, 30 seconds, and then slow reel it back in. And I call that drop fishing as opposed to bottom fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I like to do, it works best in like on the smallmouth and stuff that can be pretty finicky in the creeks around here, is if you can get right on top of whatever hole you're fishing and just jig the worm up and down like through all the levels of the water. That seems to work super well.
Yeah, I'll do worms on jig heads.
Like super finesse with that.
I catch like bullheads and stuff when I do worms on jig heads. I guess they just follow them out from under rocks or under weeds or something like that. Yeah, Sunfish Assassin. I fish the same way, Kieran. Yeah, I'm glad. Like, a lot of people, they hear that I fish with worms and they're like, "That's so boring." I sit there for 30 seconds and I'm like, "All right, nothing's biting. This is lame." It's like I active fish with
worms are the best. I feel
you can drag them. I know Sunfish Assassin. I know you've dragged worms in a kayak before and caught shellcrackers that way. That stuff works, man. In the bass spawn, I cast along rocky banks and slay them. Oh, for sure. Magnus, that's where you're going to want to throw cranks because you're going to bounce them off the rocks and it's going to look like a dying fish or whatever. Like bouncing a crank off the rock is awesome. If you can use it, they make these weedless Ned rigs, which also are somewhat rockless, but not really. But like Ned rigs are awesome, but they can get stuck under rocks if you're doing that. I know fishing with Ned rigs in shallow water for green sunfish, I'll get stuck on a rock every single freaking time. Sunfish Assassin, same here. I can't sit there and watch bait for too long. That's why I'm worried about the live stream Friday. I'm like, what the heck, man? I can sit here. No, it'll be fine. I want to answer one question before we move on. Fish layer freshwater. I don't want to ignore anybody here. So if you guys see something in the chat that we ignored, go ahead. But he said he uses ultra light for creek fishing. My 2 ones that I would say are ultra. I mean, this is as ultra light as it gets. It's a 3-foot rod. You can freaking bend this thing into a circle. Yep. This is the Dock Runner by Ugly Stick, Shakespeare Dock Runner. And yeah, it's 3 foot long. I usually just have a 1/4 ounce of weight because you can cast this thing like crazy. It's like my most accurate casting rod. I really don't understand it. Yeah. But if you've watched my creek fishing, I make like 2 creek fishing episodes where I'm using this in a creek and catching a bunch of chubs and stuff.
My rods. I want to get in my creek rod.
And then if you don't want a 3-foot rod, this is also sick for creeks. And what I've got tied on here is awesome for creek multi-species. I showed this in the last live. It's a Panther Martin Deluxe spinner in gold, 1/8 ounce. And yeah, that's what I've caught. Like I caught all my trout in Colorado on those in different colors. And I can tell you firsthand, sunfish go nuts for them. I was trout fishing not too long ago, and a green sunfish just comes up. I see him just sitting in the rocks. I just zip that thing in front of him and oops.
Yeah.
What up, Josh?
What's up, Josh? Yeah, Josh is the other member of SharpFishingTV.
Just want to real quick. This is my favorite creek fishing rod. Unreal. It's about I think it's 6 foot, which is not, I don't want to say tall, but on the taller end for creek fishing, especially for our size creeks. It's a Daiwa Samurai rod, and I don't know if they still make them anymore, but I have not been able to find them. But they're super good for the price. It was only like $40 or something. And then this is the reel. It's a P. Fluger Fusion, and I've had this thing for probably 5-6 years now, and it's just holding up real well. I change out the line on it often, so it still works great.
Yeah, I got a $29 Daiwa creek fishing rod, and it's like super. I mean, I've caught like so much stuff on that one, and it's just super sensitive. So when you are like jigging and stuff, you can be super precise, which I really like.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. It's got a good sensitive tip on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully Florida brings some biggins, though. I really am excited for that.
Fish Slayer Freshwater says sight fishing is fun. I need to watch some more YouTube videos and see what it looks like through the water with a GoPro, because sight fishing is awesome. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. Like, I want to do a lot of sight fishing videos because that's what I do in the creeks.
Yep.
LOL, Sunfish Assassin. But I don't know how well it'll look on a GoPro. You know what I mean? The sight fishing, if people will be able to see it, or if there's gonna be glare off the water. Either way, I mean, it's gonna be just like any other video. You can watch me catch fish, and it's awesome. But yeah, if we can't do the sight fishing, I might try to stick if it's clear enough water for sight fishing, you should be able to stick a GoPro underwater because they're waterproof. Just film some underwater footage of the fish swimming around. Sight fishing is definitely the best. It's fun. It's awesome. You can just throw right where they are, and then you can see what they're going for too. And my favorite thing in the world is watching a fish chase your lure all the way and wondering, is he going to hit this thing? And then boom, he finally gets it. Like your heart freaking jumps out. I think polarized lens. I don't think there's a polarized lens for the GoPro. My GoPro does pop the lens off, and you put other lenses on it, but I don't think I'm gonna buy a separate lens for the GoPro. I use shady rays. Are you talking about polarized lens glasses now? Did they start talking about shades? This whole conversation went from fishing to sunglasses, guys. I don't know what shady rays are.
It's a sunglass brand.
Okay. Yeah. Polarized lens. If you're talking about that for sunglasses, I mean, that maybe makes the sight fishing better. The only reason I use certain glasses is to see my line better when bass fishing. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see how certain glasses might make the sight fishing easier. My favorite sight fishing ever, I'll make a video here soon next time I go, is this place called Roaring River. It's like a state park, and they have a lot of trout in this river. It's a bunch of stock trout in the river, and then there's not really wild ones, but there's ones that, they've survived long enough to breed, I think, in there and stuff like that. So kind of half stocked, half wild, whatever. And a lot of it's catch and release, but you can keep forward by the end of the day. And I'll probably make some sight fishing videos there, because if you've seen any of my like trout releases that are like all from under that one freaking bridge in the river, that was that day that I caught 54 trout in one day, and it was freaking crazy. So I need to make another video at that spot. 12 to 18. When I was 12, I dressed in camouflage. You dressed in camouflage just so the fish wouldn't see you? I did that in Colorado. If you see me on my first day out in Colorado when I was posting on Fish Brain, catching those brown trout, I mean, my face is covered. I've got all camo on, and you should have seen me approaching the creek, because I saw this video of some guy. He's like, stealth is your approach when it comes to trout. I'm hiding behind a rock, and I'm like, you didn't see me. I tripped over a rock while I was walking. I was like, I just ruined the whole thing. Every fish within a mile is gone. You know what I mean? But it's not like that. You can spook a trout pretty easily, but if a bunch of trout are hanging out in an area, it's hard to make them all move on just by them seeing you or something. But there's definitely a stealth approach. You could probably have a little more success if you hung a little further away from the bank when you're fishing. I know if there's a bank where it's like, you guys are probably fishing an area like this where it's like flat grass, and then where it goes down to the water, it's like rocks and stuff and goes down. And you could either stand on the rocks or you could stand back on the grass. I'll usually stand back on the grass unless I think that puts me too high in the fish. I think about it a little bit, the fish seeing me through the water.
Yeah.
High Alpine Lakes. Where about is that in Colorado, Magnus? Because I fished the Colorado River around Granby, Hot Sulphur Springs, Kremlin area. That was fantastic. He said the fish were swimming up to him. Yeah, that's crazy. I've heard that in Colorado and a lot of those mountain streams that people will fish all day with like the best fly fishermen will fish in a stream all day and catch nothing. But if you find just the right mountain pond or mountain stream that nobody fishes up in the middle of nowhere, you could find like just a freaking honey hole of like 20+ ounce like rainbows, like probably not cutthroats that big, but yeah, just big wild trout out there. Freaking crazy.
Sunfish Assassin, he crawled and laid on the ground to watch bass spawn.
Yeah,
that's a dedicated fisherman right there. That's true. I respect that.
It was in the spring of 2020, and me and Josh, we were trying to catch this one bass, and it was spawning you could tell it was the female, and she just kept moving between this 5 foot like radius, and you could just see she was going back and forth every time we would cast right in front of her. She would look at it for a second, and she would go to the other side.
That's one of those. She's not trying to bite or like eat something. The only way you could ever get her to bite is by pissing her off enough. You know.
Yep.
I heard that from a tournament fisherman. He said his PB was 13-pound bass, and he said he had casted, I think it was 18 times in the same area by the same freaking pile of because he had marked a big fish, and then he saw splashing right by some limbs. I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And he said he just casted and just zipped the same crankbait in front of those limbs like 18 times. Bam, 13-pound bass on the 18th cast in a row. How many people are not going to cast 18 times in a row in the same spot? Most people.
Fish Slayer freshwater, blasting music and catching fish.
Yeah, Fish Slayer freshwater. I try to stay out of the city, like urban fisheries. If I lived in the city, I'd definitely be there. I love that Missouri is where I live. Our conservation department has urban fishing programs where we're trying to build ponds and then stock them, and it's awesome for people out there. But since I don't live in the city, man, I try to stay out of there because
there's no reason to go
either that or trash. Or last time I went, this pond where I catch bluegills for bait before I go to the river. It's in Kansas. I went out there, and there was a mom with her child, and then I don't know if the guy was her husband or like the dad, and they were split up or something, but they were screaming about custody over the child. They were literally having like these giant freaking domestic dispute at the park. And instead of like getting in their car and going on, they just got louder and louder. The woman's just like, I don't think you're hearing me right now. And I'm like, everyone's freaking hearing you right now.
Trying to get it.
It was bad. So yeah, I mean, they're cool, but I try to stay out of the urban areas if I can. It helps to have a car, and be freaking old enough to drive and everything. I live in like the suburbs, pretty close to like the country too, so it's pretty sweet. I can just drive like 10 minutes and be way out in the middle of nowhere. Put shiners in their bed sometimes. We would watch them for hours before they ate. That's crazy. That's not me, man. If you put a meal in front of me, you're not going to be dangling that for hours before I go for it. Have you ever tried a dog toy to your line and threw it for your dogs? I have to be careful because the dog pinned my rod to a chair. I was just about to say, that sounds like an awesome idea for a video, but that also sounds like a way to break your rod really easily.
Yeah, maybe. You'd have to use like a big catfish rod.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. I have to go to the restroom, so I'll be right back. You guys can keep talking about creeks, or you can move on to saltwater. I did want to talk a little bit about saltwater before I
have a little saltwater experience.
So you guys talk about whatever. I'll be back in like literally 1 minute. So
All right, guys. So anyone personally really experienced in saltwater? I know I have. Every summer I've gone to Delaware for just caught some like spot, croaker generally off the pier. It's on the bay. It's in Delaware, so it's on the Delaware Bay. And it's pretty similar if you think about it to a lot of freshwater fishing. Like probably like I feel like for drum and like catfish, it's probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
In the sense that you're still using kind of like a bottom rig and bait, not like lures, stuff like that. I mean, you can use lures for like when the bluefish runs, those are amazing. I haven't been there. I haven't caught a bluefish run, but it'd definitely be awesome.
Yeah, I know. Some of the best rigs are probably high-low rigs, and then also spot croaker rigs. I was catching, you guys follow me on Fish Brain a few months ago during the summer, I was able to just like double up on spot like every cast. It was crazy just from using blood.
High-low rigs are like really clutch and really good for like dogfish and like what they call sandbar sharks. We caught a few of those, or we caught many dogfish, but we caught like one or two sandbar sharks out when we were even on the bay, which is pretty cool. And I caught some like saltwater drum when we were on the ocean side.
You usually do two different baits with that, or just two of the same one?
I did the same. I did squid both at one time. We also tried the ghost crabs, and you can catch them at night if you point the light directly in them. They'll stay still and you grab them.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's like
you caught salmon at night.
You ever doubled up with the high-low?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
That's crazy. I need to go saltwater fishing, man. I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance this year, but I really want to so bad.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
What about
Um,
redfish? Magnus said he wants to fly fish for redfish. This dude's insane,
Yeah.
though. Magnus is crazy.
saltwater
He's
fishing,
hardcore, man.
I've heard, is like just absolutely amazing. Also, sea trout I've seen.
oh yeah. I know.
That's another thing that I caught, sea trout.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've never gone. Like, it'd be cool to go on a charter trip for your first time or something where people actually know what they're doing and tell you what to do. And then, like, if I ever took a trip to somewhere that had an ocean, I'd probably one day, well, that'd be my expensive day where I'd go on whatever charter trip was rated well but cheap. Because I've heard some nightmares, like 2-star ratings, where it's like, yeah, the captain hit a kid because he wasn't baiting this thing right. It's like, I won't go to one of those. Yeah, I've heard some crazy ones. It's funny. I just read bad reviews sometimes. It's hilarious. But yeah, I'd like to do that, and then the other couple days that I'm there, because I try to make it like a multiple day thing. I'd probably fish a pier, one of those places where it's like $8 per rod per day or something like that. And then I don't have a problem talking to random people, so I just go up to like the people who were catching, and I'm like, "What the heck are you using?"
Yeah, I would say bloodworms and squid are probably the most like go-to baits. I've caught flounder and spot on just bloodworms alone on a spot croaker rig.
And if you do happen to catch like spot or croaker, those are amazing bait. And you can fish them live. That's what another thing we caught the sandbar sharks on. Just
a lot of the live.
Croaker.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, yeah, you can catch sandbar sharks like a live, just like weightless croaker is what I did, and just let it drift out there.
Yeah, I've seen too many like saltwater videos where it's like they catch this big fish, and you're like, that's awesome. And then they put a hook through it and throw it right back out. You're like, geez. And then they throw that fish back out and they're trying to get something giant. I'm like, dang, you ever done anything like that? Like, have you ever used a giant fish as bait in the ocean or anything like that? I know that's like hard.
Is the spot or a croaker.
Gotcha. 30-pound redfish out of the kayak. Dude, anything over like 15 pounds out of a kayak is nuts. I want to say even over 10.
Yeah.
The only thing I've caught that big out of a kayak was a carp with my hands, and it was a 30-pound carp. It was like 29 point something with my hands. I have a picture of that one too. I ruined my phone and everything. It was a disaster. I came up behind the carp. I had a net, but not like a net. Like I literally had a trout net that looked like a freaking tennis racket. There was like no depth to it. So I just stuck it on the fish's head and just grabbed him like this. He tried to, swim underwater. My whole kayak goes sideways, fills halfway with water, and I realized my phone's just sitting in the water and it's not very waterproof. There goes that phone. I had to call my mom to come take a picture of the dang fish because I didn't have a phone to take a picture with.
Oh my God.
I live right by the lake, so I'm like, Mom. Freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to do some saltwater fishing. I don't know if that's going to happen this year.
You go off the Atlantic coast or the Pacific coast?
I got family in Florida, so maybe.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I really want to do like deep sea fishing and catch like some huge fish. I really want to catch a Goliath grouper. It's like a 500 pound.
That's a pretty goal, but
Sunfish assassin. If it was like a 20.1 pounder, then it was a chunky style 30. So it may have been 27. Yeah, I'm way too honest about my weights, but I really don't care if someone catches a fish that they didn't weigh. Like a lot of the time, you're gonna do, especially if you're throwing a fish back for any reason, you're gonna do a lot less damage to a fish if you don't weigh it. Atlantic Georgia has lots of intercoastal. It's so sick, man. If I go to Florida where my parents or my grandparents live, I'll probably do some saltwater fishing or try to.
Yeah.
I've just never have. It sounds like a dream, man. People catch the most beautiful fish. I wouldn't even be worried about catching the biggest. Some people catch like what's it called? A black sea bass or something like that.
Oh yeah.
They're beautiful, man.
Super good for black sea bass.
Goodness, those things are beautiful.
when I stop
Grouper on a fly rod. Magnus, you just like torture and pain. He said grouper on a fly rod. Hey, Magnus, do you target carp on fly rod? Because that's crazy when people do that.
I might stop in when we're stopping in North Florida. We might stop in. We might go to this place. I think it's called like Simon's Island, something like that. It's very southern Georgia, but I've heard there's like some good fishing there.
Mm-hmm.
Off the coast.
Yeah, my thing is like I'd have to do so much research because you know how many freaking rigs and at this point I don't even know if you could use your normal rods. Like, can you use your normal rods and then just clean them off, or like how does the salt affect that stuff? I have no idea.
Yeah, I would say it would probably be best to have a designated surf rod and to like make ones that are better suited for that, because your reels will definitely get pretty like rusty and stuff.
Living in Missouri, I'd probably just like rent one going out there.
Yeah.
You make sure after you're done, make sure to rinse it off and like kind of like not like exactly power wash, but like pressurized like hot water and just soak down the entire reel, because and even like the reel seat, because that a lot of the times gets jammed up with salt. So
gotcha. Mm-hmm. Magnus, there's a guy on Fish Brain. I don't remember his name, but he targets carp on a fly rod. Probably, I'm guessing probably a thicker fly rod than you have, because you said it would break your rod. But he said his favorite way to go for carp is with a fly rod. He uses, I don't know what it is, but he just tears it up. He catches more carp than carp fishermen, and he uses a fly rod. So.
Cliff Demers, what's up?
Darth Fish Vader from FB, from Fish Brain or Facebook. You grew up in Northern California, San Francisco Bay. I lived in California for a little bit, but I was too young to remember. Like a little.
Yeah, I was born in California.
Cool.
And
yep. Thanks for joining in, Cliff Demers. I appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't. That'd be awesome on our stream here. I want to try it, but the rods are like $400. Yeah, I can't buy anything that's $400 as far as a rod. Like I said last stream, my most expensive rod is like 68, or my most expensive combo is like $68. Besides my baitcaster, this is the only one that's probably more, and I don't even know how much it is. I keep doing that where I bend my rod on the ceiling and then my bait comes off. But yeah, my American Hero, I don't know how much that is, but that's got to be my most expensive. It was given to me. Ooh. If I buy a nice rod, I'm going to turn into like the best rod care owner ever. Like, I literally don't do anything with my rods now, and I need to start. Like with that bait caster, I definitely need to oil it, grease it, and everything, and buy all that stuff, because I haven't done that with any of my rods.
I remember when I bought my SLX Shimano, they gave me like this thing of like grease or like oil. It was like this tiny container thing.
Yeah, so
Some chat says my most expensive combo last year was $68. You can still get a decent combo for that price.
Yeah, you can, especially if you use like a good company.
20 pound on a brim buster. Yeah, man, I don't even know. People are crazy out there. My most expensive. Wait, what this year? Last year, 50 what? $50 was your most expensive?
Yeah, I think that's what it used to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I try to keep it cheap. I mean, bass rods, you probably should go a little more expensive for them. But I know people who buy nice river rods for catfish that the whole combo is like $60 or less. So it can be done. And I know people who use like the ugly stick like I have for big cats. So it is what it is. I just don't think it's long for what you want. What is your Fishing with G? What is it?
Rods are good.
Fishing with G's favorite combo is 100. What is it? Is it like a bait caster for bass or something?
Yeah, I think my bait caster is around 100. It's a Daiwa.
Cool. Yeah, and then another thing, if I went saltwater fishing, besides just not knowing how to take care of my rods afterwards, I wouldn't know like all the rigs. You have to look up so many different rigs and all that different stuff. I guess like that's why I'd try to work it out the first day where I went with a guide or something. I tried to do that in Colorado. I tried to go with a guide for lake trout, whatever, the first day, and then I was going to pick the guide's brain and just ask him about all the trout in the streams and everything around there. Turns out I didn't get to go on the guided trip until the second to last day of the trip, but luckily I had gotten to a lot of browns before that, and I asked him on the second to last day, what could I do differently? And he's like, you're doing everything right. The only advice he gave me was to mix up my cadence more when it comes to my retrieve. Which is like, okay, when you're retrieving constant 3 times in a row, do more twitches or speed changes in there to try to entice different bites. So, but yeah, I think with saltwater fishing, it'd be a whole different animal. I'd have to do. That's my advice to anybody. If you get the opportunity to go on a nice fishing trip, whether it's for a YouTube channel or just
let me know how that is. Which I've never had that combo. I've heard of it. The favorite bass combo, absolute AP casting rod, and favorite LIT reel. Yeah, I've never had that.
My chat is so far behind. You were reading that, and that just showed up for me. That's crazy.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
My
I
favorite-
was looking on the computer. I was looking on my phone because if you actually like, I don't know. I guess just
Oh, if you're on the YouTube thing on your phone.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought about bringing that up, and then I was like, oh yeah, I guess it'd be fine as long as I just turn the volume down so you guys don't hear yourself or whatever.
Mhm.
Have you guys ever streamed to Instagram while you're doing one of these? Because one of these times, my phone is like dead, so I didn't do it this time. But one of these times, I'm gonna just
Instagram. We're like,
I want to put my phone up to the side, just stream Instagram from that, so I could just talk to both. And hopefully, it'd be loud enough they could actually hear what you guys are saying. I don't know how that works. Usually, people do that when they're just solo streaming.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I've never had that one, but definitely let me know what you think of that one.
Usually, people do that when they're just
Definitely.
Jordan Lee baitcaster.
Mm.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I'll look that up. Jordan Lee baitcaster. Yeah, I only have the one baitcaster, that American Hero by Luz.
It's all
We're
good.
just
Fish light,
discussing-
fresh water, don't worry. Stock rod and it's amazing for bass. Yeah, sounds good. I'll have to search that up.
$100. It looks like it's about $100 for the Abu Garcia Jordan Lee baitcaster. It's how big is that thing?
What's the gear ratio?
7 foot, and it's a 641. So that's
Slower.
close. That's close enough to my 711 that I don't know. I feel like maybe that'd be enough slower to actually worry about getting it. But that's what I was talking about last time.
You're 711 and a 641, but I mean, you can still good.
Yeah, I was getting something around 641 or maybe even a little slower, and then maybe something with an 8 something ratio. And we were just talking last stream about what I could throw with those different things, but I just need to do more research. I don't want to just sound like I don't know what I'm talking about with bass. There's so many different baits with bass, you can get your head spinning talking about what to throw them on. But it definitely helps to have the right gear with what you're throwing for sure. Henry Harrington's back. What up? What up?
What's up, Henry? Yeah, I think I really want to catch my first trout. I'm still waiting on that. I know up in Pennsylvania, there's some really good trout fishing.
And
guides.
Griffin, they recently stocked the Patuxent River, so we'll have to hit up that.
Oh yeah, we should.
They stocked 400 rainbows, I think.
It's a
Yeah, we should go to that one rod spot.
Oh, that's the Tabasco. I want to go there too.
Oh yeah.
favorite absolute casting rods. It looks like that one's $70 just for the rod. Who was it that told me to look that one up? Sorry. I've got so many tabs open. Fishing with G?
What does a bait caster typically cost? I would say probably around $100 is what like a good one would cost.
Yeah, I'd do some research. Fish Slayer Freshwater. Get something similar to the American Hero. I just showed you, but I'll show it again just real quick. Get something similar to this. The Luz American Hero speed stick thing. It's a 610 and it's pretty thick here. I think it's a medium, just medium action, but the end is like super skinny and flexible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sensitivity there is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that it's like I can't give you I actually can't give you a price. I'll look it up real quick because this is my one rod. I don't know how much it costs, but I wouldn't spend more than $100 on your first bait casting combo and make sure it's reviewed well.
Henry's asking me what my PB largemouth is. I would say it was around a 3-pounder. But yeah, I definitely need to get on some bigger bass. Hopefully, in the spring, I will.
You have some good ones for sure.
Yeah, it looks like this Luz American Hero is between $80 and $100, depending on where you get it from, what color.
I got mine for 90.
90? Yeah. So you don't need to spend more than $100 for like that's a really good beginner and intermediate bait caster for throwing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I really like it. That's the one that I put like 50-pound braid on. It's really smooth. Magnus,
get to bed if you got to get up that early for school, man. Thank you so much for joining in, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for everyone for joining in.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for sticking with us.
9 months of allowance. Henry, that's what I'm saying, dude. I'm not like I don't work very much because I'm in college right now. Like over the summer, I work my butt off, but I'm going to college 5 days a week. So I work like 2 half days a week, and then I try to do odd jobs on the weekends. And like that's how I think about stuff too. I'm like, that's months of my money. That's why I think I can't spend a lot on stuff. Like even those stickers I was showing everybody that I bought like all these freaking, look how many packs of them I have. Like this thing is a whole bundle. I don't know how many's in there. That's a whole bundle. I don't know how many's in there. I had to buy all these freaking things. If I don't, sell any of them, it's gonna suck.
You definitely have to show me how to make some nice logos, man. I definitely gotta,
But I am the dude who at less than 300 subs decided to start doing merch. So I kind of brought that on myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one does that stuff. I wanted to be ready, but it's cool. I mean, my cars are covered with cool stickers now, and I'm getting those hoodies. I'll show you guys those hoodies when I get them. They're so sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I put my email in there again in case anyone's interested in those stickers. We can talk prices. I don't know exactly what I can do on them. Yeah, we're at an hour and 45 minutes. This is cool because we wanted to keep this somewhere around 2 hours. We do got 5 people in there, so we'll definitely keep talking for now. But what I had written down to talk about today, we had talked about everything except for we talked species and techniques at ponds, at lakes, at rivers, at creeks, and saltwater. Yeah. So thanks for joining that conversation, guys. What we didn't really mention was finding new fishing spots. If anyone wants to comment how they go about, and this can be for a pond, just make sure you let us know, this is for a pond, this is for a lake. How do you go about trying to find new fishing spots? Because for me, you've got FishBrain and fishing apps. You can go on these different apps and you can click local bodies of water and see what's being caught there, who's posting stuff. And then another thing, like I'll get on Google Maps, juicy looking ponds, especially creeks, and I'll go check them out. And if it doesn't seem like it's private property, doesn't say that it's private property, I'll just fish it. And a lot of times no one thinks to do that. So it's an unfished, gem of a little piece of creek or a little pond out there. I haven't found as many awesome honey hole ponds that aren't fished because most ponds are, on someone's property. But creeks for days, like a lot of times the creek's just owned by the state. It's not somebody's creek. You got to be careful where someone's property might start. You can't just follow a creek all day. If you see,
I've heard a lot of like property lines go like all the way down to like, the actual body of water itself. So.
Yeah, and another thing that Fish Slayer Freshwater, how I had started, I said I get on FishBrain. If you see a body of water on Google Maps and it looks like for sure it's public land, and you don't see a single catch out of there in FishBrain, that doesn't mean that there's no fish there. That might mean that it's the freaking best spot in the world, and nobody's found it yet. Some of my honey holes, like you go there, the first 5 times you go there, they're amazing because they're completely unpressured. You can throw anything. Bye, Fishing with G. Thanks for joining in. Maybe next time we'll let you hop on the stream.
Yeah, thanks for joining in. But yeah, I would say also like at some point you really just gotta like get out there and like cast around to different spots, especially on like rivers. Like on Google Maps and FishBrain, like if no one's logged anything on like a river, like it all pretty much looks the same on Google Maps. So like the way I found some super good spots for like smallies that me and Harrison found was just from literally just casting like inline spinners and stuff and just covering the entire area, and we were able to catch a good amount. And like
it was actually pretty interesting. We found one of our smallie spots.
Yeah.
The one in Potomac.
Yeah, it was literally just by walking down the canals and looking at what was actually like gonna seem good in person
and available, like walk through. Like it was a pretty good descent down to the river, but I mean,
it was kind of tricky.
Henry Harrington, that's crazy. He's 147 away from 2,000 on FishBrain. What?
Wow.
I have like 800 on FishBrain, man. I need to start following more people. When I first got FishBrain, I was so stingy. I wouldn't follow anyone back. Can't fish water in GA, landowners own it. Like, what do you mean by that? You can't fish
in Georgia.
Yeah, we just say can't fish water.
Yeah, I think he's saying like the land, like the landowners, like they own their land all the way through the water. I didn't know you guys could actually do that. I thought you could just own your property line up to the water itself, so like including the bank. But I don't know you could. Yeah,
anyone who has most people who have a pond on their property own a creek because the creek has to feed the pond. They just own that part of it or whatever. Yeah, that's crazy. Sunfish assassin, but I'm sure there's laws like that around here and stuff, and I just don't follow them. Like for me, it's bring a freaking pistol in my bag in case some redneck comes out after me, but I've never had to use it. I just go to these places and I just fish. I mean, no one's chased me out yet. I know there are some crazy people.
Yeah,
and I know some people who will go fish on private property that's not even theirs, and if someone else shows up, they're like, "Hey, this is my property," and you can call them out on it if you know whose it actually is. But there's some crazy people out there, and I'm not telling you kids to bring a gun with you, but if you're an adult and you have the opportunity, I mean, maybe at least bring some sort of protection if you're going to be, walking around random creeks and stuff.
Yeah, that is not fun. It's happened to me before. I got kicked out of the pond next to the one that I caught my PB out of in Delaware, so I moved to the next one.
Josh is asking if he can join. I'm going to leave that up to Harrison.
Yeah, we can have you on for like 5 minutes or something like that.
For sure. Yeah, before I let Josh, it says there's a juicy pond behind our school that's private property. It's calling my name, but I can't fish it. Yeah, if people can see you, yeah, you can. Some of the best spots are like that. There's private property.
Just be chill, Josh. Don't be weird.
Yeah, Josh, I will.
Fishing's channel.
I will. Yeah, I think Josh is going to be cool if he's up on my channel. I don't take bull crap on my channel. I also don't know how to block people, but I'll figure it out pretty quick. Yeah, I'll end the damn stream if I have to. No, he'll be all right. But yeah, so again, that's my third part of how I find the new spots in the first place is like you said, just stumbling upon it, like not even looking on Google Maps beforehand. And sometimes I'll be coming home from school or somebody's house, and I'll just see a river that goes under a bridge or something. Bridges are awesome for multi-species fishing, and I'll either stop there and fish, or if I don't have my stuff with me, I make a note of it. Hey, I got to come back here and try. In Colorado, that's all I did for those wild brown trout I was catching. I'd just pull over on the road and stop random places. And then what we were talking about,
for some reason, like spots like right next to like main roads and stuff, makes most people think like to not go fish there, but because of that low pressure, a lot of spots by like big roads are actually really good, especially by
creeks. Yeah, a lot of those like recreational parks, they're super highly pressured. I mean, it's a lot of times really fish out of there.
For sure. Fish Slayer Freshwater. I don't know if this will work, but this worked at my school. So tell them that you're going to tell them to stock game fish and then have the science classes and stuff like that. Go out there and have kids like make their own cane pole and catch fish with it and stuff. That's what we did at our middle school. That was before I even fished or anything. But yeah, we went out there and we made cane poles, and like we had exactly what you're talking about, a little pond owned by the school. And they stocked it for that reason. Someone brought up the idea, and it was freaking crazy. It was awesome. We go out there, and there was catfish and bass and everything. It was fun.
Oh my gosh.
Josh, I sent
Josh,
the link,
right up there.
Yeah. Click the link that says StreamYard BSUS 68. We'll let you right on in. And then, once I've found the new spots, I'm totally with you, Griffin, as far as you just got to throw. Like, you can find a spot that looks fantastic on Google Maps or on FishBrain, but you can't find out if it's actually a good fishing spot without getting down there and trying and throwing a couple different things. And I would recommend bringing worms. Sure. What up, Josh?
All right, I'll behave myself.
Josh.
I believe you.
What was I gonna say? So I was going on a path one time, and we biked a couple of miles, and I found this pond, and then I brought Harrison there. Remember that, Harrison?
Oh yeah, you showed me that one. It's pretty cool. Because it was like this kind of creek, like watershed thing. It was actually pretty interesting. It's technically a part of like the Chesapeake Bay watershed. So
something like that, yeah.
Sunfish Assassin's first fish was a cane pole. He said not even a creek, a branch, cool. Not even a creek. Yeah, that's crazy. I've already got some ideas. I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'll just tell you guys anyway. I think I want to do like a micro fishing video with a stick. Like literally just go out with a stick, tie some freaking line to it, and catch a bunch of fish.
I remember
like definitely work.
Those survival challenge videos were doing awesome. They were really hitting the algorithm well. Like I remember First Date and One Rod did one, and they were like popping off.
Dude, those are the videos that got me wanting to do this type of channel and stuff like that. Yeah. I used to watch these videos where it'd just be like two friends and they're bored and it's the winter and they're like, hey, we're going to go survive for 48 hours. And they have their hunting license and everything. And they're on, property. They're allowed to shoot stuff. So they'd go out there and if there's fishing, they'd fish. But since it was the winter, they shot, a couple birds and cooked them up. I was like, that's crazy. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
The live stream format looks like the Windows logo because we got the 4 people here. Yeah, that's my first time ever doing 4.
Yeah. Harrison, you watching the Wizards game?
No, not yet. I'll watch it later. Don't tell me.
I'm back.
It's on commercial right now.
What up, Outdoor Fanatics? And thank you. I really appreciate you staying great live stream.
Yeah,
that like.
Yeah, I love
I'll write that down.
He's one of my favorite fishermen too.
That is true, Henry. Ace Videos does have a lot of great survival videos. Long videos. I've watched them fully. They're like 2 hours long sometimes, and I still watch them.
That's what's crazy is like you make a really long fishing video and like no one's gonna watch it. But if you make a really long survival video or something, I'm with you on that. I've literally found myself watching like 45-minute long videos. Like, I think I need to get some friends together and do something like that, man. Jaden Danger said, "Can I get a yeet with like 7 T's in there?" That's as good as you're gonna get me reading it like that, unless someone else wants to yell.
Griffin will do it. I mean, forward fishing.
Oh, we got an awesome question in Fish Slayer Freshwater. He said, "Why did you name your channel Sunfish King?" All right, reason number 1, it sounds freaking awesome. Reason number 2, it's not taken by anyone. I actually own sunfishking.com right now, so you can't buy that right now. I literally own it. So that's freaking crazy. Henry Harrington just gave a big yeet. But yeah, besides it sounding cool, I mean, if you, I'll get on. You guys can go ahead and continue the chat. I'm gonna get on Fish Brain real quick, and I'll let you know why they call me Sunfish King.
Josh,
move your thumb. All we can see is a giant thumb.
Harrison, why don't we have a channel, or why don't we have a website?
I have not made one yet.
If you go to sunfishking.com right now, nothing will come up because I haven't paid to have it hosted. I haven't even I've started making it, but I haven't fully made it. So I own the website, but you have to pay monthly to host it. So that's why you guys don't have a website, because it costs at bare minimum. The cheapest I found is $6 a month. So for me, if I sell 2 hats or something, 4 stickers, if I sell a couple items of merch a month on that website that I wouldn't have sold otherwise, then it becomes worth it for me. Or if it gets my name out there. But until that point, I'm broke.
Jaden's asking if you have a fish tank. I do have a fish tank with 2 firemouth cichlids in it. I might do some videos of that later, of them like feeding and stuff.
Henry Harrington, Halstead, Kansas. I'll have to check that out, man. I really will, because that's probably like way into freaking Central Kansas. Yeah, that's probably hours out there. But if I ever get the opportunity, I'll definitely come check it out. So Fishbrain's acting up. I'm trying to look at my catches right now on Fishbrain. Somebody might ask why they call me the Sunfish King. But Fishbrain is like literally not even loading right now for some freaking reason.
Maybe it's down.
What a bad app, guys.
Fishbrain's down?
No, it's just it doesn't work for me.
Oh.
What's your favorite pan fish? And Jaden Danger, to answer your question, do I have a fish tank? Check out my YouTube channel. I got a couple like shorts and videos of my fish tank, and then I've got this fish tank that I set up at the university that we've caught all the fish and put them in there. And it's all native fish. It's 125 gallon, and then there's a 55 gallon one. And I put the GoPro inside of those tanks and actually did some underwater footage.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
Holy crap, dude. Fishbrain is just literally not working at all. All right, I'm going to turn my phone off back on. Basically, I can just tell you, though, the reason why they call me Sunfish King, last year, I'm a multi-species fisherman. I caught 5,000 fish in 30 species last year, but over 2,000 of those were bluegill. Over 800 of those were green sunfish. And I'm sure I caught over 100 red ears. And yeah, so like 90%, I don't know, 70%, 60% of the fish I caught last year were sunfish. And there'd be days where I'm posting 80 sunfish in a day back then. I won't do that anymore.
Fish crappie. I really do.
Outdoor fin addicts, as far as favorite panfish, there's some I haven't got to fish for, like warmouth and rock bass and stuff like that, and I think I might like them a whole lot. So of the ones I fish for, looks long ear sunfish, fight either crappie or red ear, and taste either crappie or red ear. But then I love the aggression of green sunfish, and bluegills are just plain awesome.
Have you caught a hybrid bass?
Really cool.
What do you mean, Josh?
I've never caught any
like a hybrid bass or something like that.
Like a wiper, a striped bass, wipe.
Oh yeah. No, I've got a white bass, not a wiper. And then, are you talking about like a mean mouth, like a black bass hybrid, or are you talking about like a white bass hybrid?
No, Harrison, we saw it at Bass Pro.
Yeah, those are wipers.
Yeah, I've caught white bass, but not wipers. So that's a white bass, striped bass hybrid.
Easiest type of fish is probably bluegill.
Nope, hands down, green sunfish. Fish Slayer freshwater. Yeah. Go on. Do you have green sunfish in your area? Go ahead and comment. If you don't know, just look it up online. Here's what you're gonna do. Go into, like, when it gets warmer, go into 2 feet of water anywhere that has rocks, like that riprap stuff. That's Chris Aldrich is in the house. Oh my gosh. I said, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm head out. Thank you.
Follow Chris Aldrich on Fishbrain, everybody. That dude is a freaking stud. He catches so many fish. Such nice fish too.
Yeah,
But
dude.
anyway, fish layer freshwater, as I was saying, the green sunfish, you're gonna fish in like 2 feet of water with either jigs, or your best bet is like a small hook, like size 6 or something, with worms on it, and just put like a half of a worm, and just literally put that bait. You don't even have to use a bobber. You can just hold it and move it up and down.
Yeah.
Put it near the rocks. If you see any holes under a rock that look like something could live there, just jiggle it in front of there. Green sunfish, there is not an easier fish to catch.
So yeah,
There's
I actually have
literally
a creek like literally like 150 feet behind my house, and they're freaking overloaded with green sunfish. And
they overpopulate too, which makes them also easy to catch.
Yeah.
Because if you have green sunfish and bluegill in the same place, after 5 years, they're almost all hybrid greens and bluegills, and and green sunfish. Very little pure bluegills. That's why they recommend not putting green sunfish in a pond if you have bluegills, because they'll overpopulate. Thank you, Outdoor Dude. He said, love how you're interacting with the subscribers. That's what this is all about. This is Multispecies Weekly. We're going to do this every Tuesday, and anyone who wants to join in can join in.
It'll be depending on the channel. It won't always be on this channel. We're going to be rotating.
Yeah. The 3 people talking right now, Sunfish King, SharpFishingTV, and ForwardFishing, the 3 of us will be hosting these Multispecies Weeklies talk. So I think next week it's going to be Harrison, because
I think it might.
Griffin's doing the fishing thing on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's just going to rotate. That's all that really matters. And we will keep interacting.
So on Friday we're going to be doing this like kind of competition thing. Me and Harris are probably going to go to a pond, and I think you said you're going to do trout stuff. And then whoever, I guess, catches the biggest or most fish will win it. So
yeah, and this one we're not doing like we're broke. We're not doing money. We're not doing. I mean, we might think about some either prize or something that the losers have to do, but probably not this time. If you guys have any ideas, let us know. But I think we're just gonna do it for fun for the first time, because it's too many factors. I'm gonna be fishing for trout, and they're gonna be going for either. I think Harrison might be going for something in a pond, or they might be doing some creek fishing, which should be awesome. Make a group on fish brands for the tournament. That's it, Henry Harrington. That's not a bad idea. I'm thinking about ideas for a fish brain group. I don't know. I already have 3 of them. I don't know. We can talk about that for sure, though. The point with fish brain is people just post catches from like 5 years ago and cheat and stuff like that. If we're going live, there's no way to.
Yeah.
I do have a question for the subscribers, though, before we end this, because I don't know how much longer we'll go. But whoever's in the chat, let us know what you would like to discuss next Tuesday, because it's not like we don't have any ideas. We'll definitely have a topic if you guys don't have anything, but we would like to talk about something that interests you guys. So Friday we're doing some live fishing, and we'll let you know more about that. But next Tuesday, what do you guys want to talk about? We talk baits, we talk fish species, locations, anything.
Yeah.
Pike fishing, Henry. All right, so here's the problem with pike fishing is I've pike fished once in my life and I didn't catch anything. So I mean, we can mention it.
I've never caught anything.
I've never pike fished. I definitely need to get.
Okay, so Henry Harrington, I will write down pike fishing for next time. If we get the chance, we'll ask the people in the chat if anyone knows about pike fishing. If anyone knows about it right now, comment.
Christian,
it's not cold enough to ice fish here.
Yeah. So here in Central Maryland, we don't really have exactly ice fishing, but if you go more out west and north, there's a good amount of ice fishing. But
So it was like, I think we got 2 weeks, and that's the absolute most. 2 weeks of fishable ice here in Missouri this winter, and it just ended like yesterday was probably the last day where you could maybe safely walk on ice. Today it's just there's nothing at all. It's like less than 2 inches thick, and it's melting. So it was like I did a bunch of snow removal for like 3 days in a row, like when it first snowed, and then I was tired and like slept for 2 days. And then so we're already halfway through that 2 week period, and I thought, should I get an auger? Didn't want to spend a lot of money. Thought about getting a hand auger. Everyone told me that was hell on earth trying to use a hand auger. And by the time it would have came, or I would have found one, there would have only been a couple days left to ice fish. So, Chris, I would love to do ice fishing. I'm thinking probably Colorado and hire a guide or something. If I ever,
oh, whoops. Yeah, definitely not. Inflatable boat, not happening, but.
Inflatable boat. Open water. Try casting or rolling a white spinner bait. Northland. I'm writing this down. Anything that Chris Aldridge says, you guys listen to him. If you haven't checked him out on FishBrain, do it. You will not regret it. That's like one of my favorite fish players. Northland tackle. $11 to $13. That's expensive spinnerbait, buddy.
Yeah.
That's an expensive bait to lose right there, my dude. I
the
didn't
trailer can really save you fish, though.
How was that hand dog?
Henry, I'm sure exactly how much this cost. Probably somewhere around, I don't know, $80, $90.
For that Intex? Yeah, that thing looks cool. Just don't pop it.
I'm going to take it to Florida and get it friggin' ripped by.
Or get a big hook stuck in it. That'd be the end of
that.
Yeah,
I owned a couple inflatable mattresses by that brand, and freaking A, man. They didn't last very long at all. Hand auger wasn't bad, but with the 40V, you can cover a lot of area. 40V?
I guess that's an electric one.
Probably 40 volt, maybe. Yeah, I was looking into options like taking one of my drills and getting an attachment for it, but I saw too many videos where guys lost their drill bits through the ice and stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna ice fish eventually. Maybe next year I'll get on top of it and get something before it even freezes. Last year we didn't even have fishable ice at all, so it's not something that's guaranteed going to happen here. I kind of live in a place where ice fishing is not really much of a thing. There's like 20 to 30 crappie fishermen in my state that do a little bit of ice fishing when, during the 1 week you can of the year. But for me, it's going to be probably a traveling thing. Love to go to Colorado. Love to come up to your area, Chris, and do some ice fishing. I don't know if that'll ever be an opportunity or in my near future. But thanks for all that, Strike Master. I'm writing down everything he says. Cool. We got 3 people in the live still. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't. Really appreciate it. And go ahead and subscribe to the 3 of us, or at least check out our channels and see if you want to sub. We had planned this thing to be about 2 hours, and we have covered pretty much everything. So I don't know, Griffin and Harrison, when you guys got to leave, but feel free to hop off whenever. I'll probably just say right now that we're getting close to wrapping up, unless somebody has like something really inspirational they want to say or something.
I can give it like 5 minutes.
Henry Harrington, I do the same thing. Yeah. We'll probably we're looking to end around 210, 212, something like that, unless someone else has. But thank you guys. Sunfish Assassin's out of here, I think, but he was in here for a long time. I'm gonna have to message him on
he was
on FishBrain and say thank you, or Facebook or something. That dude's awesome. Catches a lot of really nice fish. He fishes the same style as I do most of the time, and he's like me. He eats a lot of fish and then also throws a lot back too. But I gotta definitely say thank you to him. That was freaking awesome. Henry Harrington, yes, that's basically what I do, is break a hole in the ice. That's all I can do. But when it's like 11-inch thick ice or 8-inch thick ice or whatever, like the super safe ice to walk on, I feel like you can't do that with a rod. Live to fish, fish to live.
Thank you.
Words of a true master.
All right, now we can go to 5 hours with that. Those words of inspiration.
Yeah, that's all we needed. Yeah, we got the motivation. We're gonna do a 5-hour live stream. No, if you guys do, go to SharpFishingTV's channel. I don't know if it's still on there, but it probably should be. Our last live is still on there. We had a great conversation. Go ahead and skip past the first 15 minutes because we were just having audio issues. But it was a freaking awesome first live for me.
Yeah, we had like 8 people at the very least through like the entire end of it.
Thank you so much, Joe Basking. If you have me on in the background, I'm pretty sure that gives me watch time for the whole time you're doing it, unless YouTube is smart enough they can know you're not looking at it. I'm pretty sure that helps. Like, that supports me so much, man. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Christian. We'll catch you in the next one, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was freaking awesome that you joined in. I did not expect that. That dude is like such a freaking pro, man. I don't know why he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He's all about fishing, You can't sit there and edit video when the fishing is just calling your name. It's hard.
Yeah.
True fisherman, it's hard tough to edit video. Yeah, I'm with you. The balance, man. It's like, because now it's already hard for me in the winter and I haven't even been fishing. As soon as it's nice outside, it's like, I'm going to fill up my GoPro SD cards like immediately. They're already full right now. They're full of.
What size SD cards do you have? Because I've been kind of, I don't know which size I should get. I
think I have a 32.
I don't know. I got 2 256s, and I just ordered 2 more. Yeah, I just ordered 2 more because they're nothing. They get. I do 4K video. They do between 7 and 8 hours. Yeah, here. So I'll type in if you're gonna buy one, your SD card is your limiting factor when it comes to whether your video is going to look as good as your camera can possibly shoot. If you get some crappy SD card, it cannot save 4K video really well. So you're going to want to get I'm typing it right now, SanDisk Extreme Pro. It's worth spending the extra. And I would say at least 64 gigabytes, because that's going to get you like, I don't know, 2 hours of filming or something like that. You don't get very much on a 32. And I have a 256, and I'm telling you, it's like 8 hours at the most.
Yeah, it's only like $30. Not that bad.
And then do you get that on Amazon?
SanDisk Extreme Pro, yeah, I just ordered 2 of them on Amazon. Make sure you get the micro SD if you have something that takes the micro SD. Like my GoPros, they won't take the normal SD card; they take the micro. I ordered the wrong one the first time; I had to send it back.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think it's cheaper for the micro too.
Let me know after the stream how many watch hours you get from this.
For sure. I don't think I'm going to get. What did you get from the last one? 30 or something? I won't get that because it's not a 5-hour stream.
No, but I think you'll definitely get at least like 15 or something like that.
That'd be fine with me. Henry Harrington, you should try any of the 3 of us. I'm pretty sure you could probably message us on FishBrain for advice. I don't want to sign these guys up for something they don't want to do, but I'm pretty sure they'd be fine helping you out if you have any quick questions about YouTube. We're all about helping each other out, trying to grow. And, we don't want people out there to struggle and not know what to do when they could just ask and get some help. And there's too many crappy YouTube channels out there. So just don't be another crappy YouTube channel. Get some help and make your stuff good. It'll really help you out. I don't want to sound savage when I say that. But yeah, that's my motto. Don't be another crappy YouTube channel. Watch the videos online, and the ones that you like, try to be like that. If they were able to edit that stuff and make it look like that, anything short of having a drone or something that you don't have, you should be able to edit it and get similar footage. It's just how much time you're willing to spend. You can edit for 2 hours and make an okay video, or you can edit the same footage for 25 hours and make the best video in the world. I think iMovie is a good one. If you have an Apple device, go ahead and let them know what you guys use.
Yeah, I use iMovie.
And then occasionally I'll use DaVinci Resolve for a bit more complicated things. But
the one I just commented is $60 for a lifetime. DaVinci Resolve is free, like he said. iMovie is free, I think, if you have the Apple device. I would say iMovie is the absolute best free one.
I think DaVinci
the option. You think DaVinci Resolve is better?
Not even price, just it's free. It's a great free editing software for sure.
Yeah. If you have iMovie, you'll be good. And Henry, you could if you don't have a GoPro or anything, I don't know what your situation is there. As soon as you go out there and start catching fish, just take way too many videos or get a tripod and actually film yourself actually catching. Because even if you don't use that, you could throw it away later, or you'll have that footage for yourself. It's memories. It's pretty sweet. I think you'll like the footage, and then it'll make it funner to edit. So the thing is just last year I caught so many fish and I didn't do any filming, and it's the biggest regret of my life. If I could have got those 30 species and almost 5,000 fish on freaking film, now I have to do it all over again just to get footage. So that's my advice. Film as much as you can.
All right. Well,
yeah, I think I have to head off soon.
Getting back to
let my dog out.
For sure. Thank you, Griffin, so much. Like I said, we're doing a live stream fishing on Griffin's channel on Friday, so you guys got to check that out. We'll post all the details on FishBrain beforehand.
Yeah, definitely be able to check that out. But I'm gonna head off.
Cool.
So
thanks for joining
me on the stream.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, man. Sweet. Yeah, it was successful, I think. I mean, we could, if we do a couple more of these, we'll probably get better at talking to people and making sure we don't talk too long about the wrong thing or whatever. But I like it. I think it's working good. And I like the name Multispecies Weekly because you got pretty sure there's like Catfish and Panfish Weekly and all that stuff, but there's not a multi-species yet.
Absolutely.
I like it. We got that on lock now. No one else can steal it. We got multi-species.
Yeah. And I like the thumbnail too. I mean, we could probably keep just rolling around with that.
Well, yeah, unless you guys have any ideas on what to change about the thumbnail, we can do little changes. But I threw that together in like 3 minutes while I was waiting to see the thing. Like I might change my picture on top or something, but it is what it is.
Catfish's gonna have to let me know about the thumbnail making because you're really good at it.
So I think I can do video in Snapchat, right? or not Snapchat. Gosh dang it, Instagram. I'm getting all these things mixed up. I do video on Instagram, right? I was thinking I can video chat you, and I'll just aim it at my computer. I'm getting a tripod soon too for my phone. That should be awesome. If it doesn't come before Friday, I don't know what I'm gonna do for that live stream. But I'll tape it to like one of my tripods, which I'll figure it out. What's up, Snags and Drags Fishing? Thanks for joining in, and see you later, Henry Harrington. If you're still in here, Henry Harrington, message me on Fishbrain and let me know what else you want to talk about next week besides pike fishing and flipping baits.
We are on wrapping this up shortly, so
yeah, Snags and Drags, you joined in at 2 hours and 15 minutes into, basically this is Multispecies Weekly. We did it last week, but this is our first week of actually calling it Multispecies Weekly. We're going to try to do this every week around 8 p.m. Central or 7 p.m. Or 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, sorry. Somewhere in there, 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. If you if you follow me on Fishbrain or something like that, same name, sunfish.king. Or Sunfish King on Instagram.
We'll be rotating between 3 channels. Forward Fishing was up here earlier, and so his this Friday gonna be going live on his channel for a little friendly competition fishing tournament. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to go subscribe to him and
sub to Forward Fishing because his channel is gonna be the one we do a live fishing on Friday this week in a couple days, and I'm gonna be catching trout. He's gonna be catching I don't even know what, maybe some nice catfish. We'll see, and it's gonna be cool. We're gonna probably do. There's probably gonna be someone who wins for the most fish and someone who wins for the biggest fish. So there could be 2 winners, or someone might just take the whole prize. So, which as of now there is not a prize; it's just for fun. But cool, thank you guys for joining in. That's freaking awesome. Anyone in the chat at this point? We've pretty much come to the end. We planned this thing for about 2 hours. We'll go longer, week to week basis if there's more to talk about, or if we have a really good chat. We're probably going to wrap this up soon, unless you go ahead and say anything else you want to discuss in the chats. Harrison, you can leave whenever. I'm not holding you hostage, man. And any ideas for next week's live, you can post in the comments too. We'll definitely be taking suggestions.
Yeah, well, I think you're gonna head out, man. Thank you so much for hosting me. We'll definitely be going next this Friday and next Tuesday. So everybody, stay tuned for that.
Yep, join in Friday on Forward Fishing's channel, and then definitely sub to SharpFishingTV. And next Tuesday, probably gonna be doing a talk on his channel, Multispecies Weekly again. So thank you guys so much. We're probably gonna wrap this thing up since nobody is having any questions or nothing in the chat right now. Thanks, Harrison.
See you later.
It's been fun, man. It was a really good first one, man. First official Multispecies Weekly. So I love it.
Sure. All right.
Any ideas you got about next week? Yeah, let me know, man. Right on, guys. It looks like it's just me, and there's 3 of us still in here. It looks like Snags and Drags might be in here. Henry Harrington looks like he left. I can't see who the 3 are in here though. But thank you guys so much. Got like 30 seconds here. If anybody wants to say anything or ask anything in the comments, I love the interactive part of this. This has been awesome. If there's anything you liked or didn't like about this, I got a thick skin. I can take it. Go ahead and comment on this video or another video once it's uploaded. I really appreciate everybody who joined in. And one more time, we're going to do this every single week, Tuesday around 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And it's going to be called Multispecies Weekly. And we're going to be talking different species. We might focus on one species one week and the next another week. We might talk rigs. We might talk techniques, stuff like that. ZH Lemon Lime just joined in. Yo, 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 what's up? I was just giving my wrap up. We've been doing this thing for 2 hours, 17 minutes. I had 2 other fine gentlemen, SharpFishingTV. I'll go ahead and put his SharpFishingTV. Go ahead and check out his channel because we are doing another live talk about fishing and outdoors next Tuesday around 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And then definitely go check out Forward Fishing this Friday, sometime in the afternoon or evening. We are doing a live fishing competition. Me, Harrison, and Griffin, and it's going to be freaking awesome. So definitely tune in for that. I'm going to be catching trout. One of us is going to be in the creeks, and one of us will be going for catfish. And so you're going to see 3 different people on the screen catching fish or trying to catch fish all at the same time, and it's going to be madness. So, dude, that's awesome, ZH Lemon Lime. Thank you for joining in. All right. If no one else has any questions or comments in the chat, I just want to thank you guys one last time for joining in, and catch us next week on Tuesday for Multispecies Weekly. Thanks for making this an awesome live chat, guys. I think I'm going to end this thing here. Peace out, everybody. I really appreciate it. You guys have been so awesome. Check out my channel, Sunfish King. Thank you.